Grafton early on makes it 3 wide, takes the lead going through turns 1 and 2.
How about that? He wants to get 5 of those points back with that lead.
And Grafton second in the points. Now leading the field at Iowa Speedway.
That's a pretty gutsy move to do that.
Problems back in the back to 92.
Stays out of harm's way. Stays off the racetrack. Caution flag is out.
John Jackson.
He's probably got run into from behind a little bit. Does a nice job getting that truck down off the racetrack, though.
Well, and here it is. Like I say, these guys have had a lot of track time, but not in these nighttime conditions.
Make a statement here to Ron Hornaday. I'm going to lead this race. I'm going to lead a bunch of this race. I'm going to gain some points on you.
And the only thing that he can worry about or think about is maybe Hornaday seeing him lead this and maybe him have a problem.
Problems again on the restart. The 08 gets turned around. That's Jamie Dick in the 08 this week. You see James Busher slow on the racetrack as well.
He comes down the hill there. Todd was already there. They made a little bit of contact. You may have to look at the right front corner of Todd's truck.
Adam Alexander.
And a moment ago, Johnny Benson talking about the fact that Ron Hornaday may see.
I think they freed her up.
Here you can see when he turns his hands back to the right, that's a bad sign.
And he's also staying in the top 10, which I think is very impressive for his first ever start.
He's going to get loose down there, and around he goes.
Talk about him. Sideways goes Austin Dillon. Keep it off the wall, Austin. He does, and that brings out our 4th caution.
That's what we talk about all the time. And when these trucks get side by side, when they lose that downforce. See him right on the inside of Timothy Peters. Again, he's already been loose. There's some bumps down there. They upset the truck a little bit. He gets sideways. He keeps the truck off of Timothy. Eric Almirola does a great job avoiding him, and he just slides up to the outside wall. No harm, no foul.
Now, he does a great job here because a lot of rookies probably would have turned that in and took them both out. So by just spinning it and just coming to a stop was the right thing, and a great call for him. I mean, he was definitely loose.
Now for the 8th position as this took place.
Timothy did a nice job too, because there was a little bit of contact and he got pretty much out of shape.
They're only going to do fuel at this point in time, so it may change maybe a little bit of strategy.
Oh, contact.
Little contact there, Stacy Compton. We see the 24, David Starr up into the wall. Caution comes out once again.
And this caution flag right here will come out when most of these guys are in their window. We've completed 109 laps, so I think everyone will be in their window now so they can come in. They may elect, Johnny, as you talked about, not to put tires on this time, just a little bit of...
Is definitely just learned something else right now too, is a little bit of contact and sure ruin a couple guys' days.
Yeah, David Starr made some pretty good contact with the outside wall. I don't think Stacy made any contact other than with the 24 truck. Let's take another look at it. This is a situation where Stacy's going to run a little bit high. David thinks he's going down to the bottom, and they just ran out of racetrack. Rick Crawford does a nice job avoiding Stacy Compton.
Again, Austin Dillon was right behind that 60 and was able to avoid as we take another look at it.
Yeah, that was just tight racing. It looked like the 24 wanted to come down to that line, maybe thinking the 60 was going to go a little bit lower than that. But that's right where the dip. That's right where the dip of the track is, and right there is right where that seam is. And I think they both wanted to just be on that side.
Yeah, David was not below the white line there.
Way up to 14, so he's got a good race truck. He's just got to be a little bit more patient than
problems right on the front stretch. The 30 of Todd Bodine, the 23 of Jason White. They get turned around. The caution comes out once again.
Todd was able to save that truck. There's actually an access road before you get to the pit wall. Here we are coming off turn number 4. You see those trucks side by side, just a simultaneous spin there. Jason on the inside got a little bit loose, lost the air off that spoiler.
Yeah, he definitely got loose and gathered Todd up. And as close as they were to the wall, they're lucky they didn't get that. And as Todd goes definitely down through the grass, it'll fill it up. But as you can see, it started actually down to the bottom of the racetrack, and they both just kind of slid up and just used as much of it as they had down through the grass. It didn't look like they did any damage, but Todd is definitely going to come in. He's going to have to wipe the grill off with all the grass that's probably blowing.
There's another view, but again, simultaneously spinning. I'm not sure they ever touched.
Well, I'm sure they probably just barely, but with it.
There, Skinner crosses the start-finish line. Eric Almirola second. Colin Brown is third. Final lap. Can Skinner hold on? Does he have enough fuel?
I think if he can get to turn 3, I think he's going to be okay.
Into turn 3. He's got a huge lead over second. Mike Skinner coming out of turn number 4. He will win the first ever race at Iowa Speedway.
Great side-by-side battle for third. Colin Braun holds off the 33 of Hornaday.
It's the 7th time that Mike Skinner has won a race in the inaugural visit to a racetrack.
These guys are going through the corner as he picks up the throttle.
Whoa, look out. John West Townley gets it turned around. He's got some damage on the back. Oh, it looks like he's also got an axle. It's about ready to come off.
That's his second car this weekend. He wrecked one on Thursday.
John West Townley, he's been having a tough time, guys. I mean, just like you said, Randy, he lost it.
Looks like the track bar broke. Track bar broke, or something come out, and the rear end's already outside the car.
Absolutely, Randy. I've never seen that before. I mean, the track bar looks like it broke on this car. The rear end housing tried to slide to the left-hand side. It's one more look here. Look, the right rear tire's way in, and it's already tore up at the track bar is what's caused this problem. Look at that rear end going back and forth. This is a mechanical failure this time, guys.
Tough break.
Too soon to tell. Hadn't had enough laps to really know whether it was right or wrong.
You saw it 3 wide, and Brad Coleman taking advantage as he gets underneath Eric Darnell. He picks up to the number 4 position. Stenhouse Jr., and we've got caution and another car into the wall. It is the 81 of Sean Murphy making his first nationwide start, and he makes it all through lap 11.
That's too bad. That's Randy McDonald's. Not that bad.
Let's go back, take a look. There's the 81 going around.
Early into the, you looked at skid marks, and it was before the rusty bump, so we didn't have nothing to do with that one.
I appreciate that. Looks like he just got loose on entry. Got up top, hit the safe barrier. Hate that it happened to him.
Well, we're under our
brand new everything, and he's out of the race.
We're under our second caution here.
It looked like it was easy, but his arch race at 130 miles an hour.
Spin into
turn 1.
Right between turn 1 and 2, the 05 car of Casey Atwood has stuffed the back end of the car into the wall.
It's a good conservative tire. Let's take a look here.
Well, it's the tail end of it.
It was already gone. I mean, if you get up too high going into 1, there's been a lot of. There was a USAC race last night. On the very last lap, a guy blew up.
Back under our 4th caution at the Iowa Speedway, and Eric Almirola has just racked up his second car of the weekend. The first one wasn't his fault. He got swept up in some oil. And the 6 car, Michael McDowell, turns it all the way around. Don't know if he actually made contact with the wall, but there's enough smoke here to not worry about mosquitoes for about a week.
Mosquitoes in Iowa? Maybe.
Could be a few. There it is. As we take one more look at it. Oh, he might have gotten some help, fellas. Nice job of keeping it from going into the wall. Take another look from what the starters platform sees. And look at him diving for the flags. Yellow, yellow, yellow. It's our 5th. Stay with us.
I believe I saw the fender get it. There it is.
Yeah, you're right, Rusty. He's got a problem.
The 32 got into his left rear.
Oh! And now he gets spun around. And we've got 3 different cars. That's Austin Dillon in the 2. And
oh! Almost had it cleared.
And that's Stephen Light in the 29. How did he get mixed up in this?
And believe it or not, the
32 car, Brian Eichler, gets a little bit loose, chases us up the racetrack, and it just probably knocked the valve out of the left rear wheel.
Now, the tailpipes in these cars, guys, stick out about 1 inch past the outside of the body. And it looks like that got into the left rear tire of Brendan. But I could not believe the spin that Brendan had and didn't hit the wall on the outside.
Rick, what's going on?
Well, just down here
at Iowa, presented by GoDaddy.com. One more look at all the carnage that took place just a few moments ago. Our 6th caution here at Iowa Speedway. The guy that could deny a winner in the $75,000 bonus dash for cash from Nationwide. Whoa, trouble. Bliss is turned around on the front straightaway. Trevor Bain looks like he scraped the wall trying to get past him.
I think Trevor Bain got into him a little bit. Trevor got a little loose, tried to save it, and got in the back. And gets loose. He hit the apron, and the thing chased it up the racetrack, and he hit the wall pretty hard on the outside.
Yeah, he
Mike
did
didn't hit nothing though.
He got it harder than I thought, but it looks like I still don't think. I think these guys can fix it.
Another view.
Right here.
Whoa.
He hit the apron. As soon as we seen guys do that during qualifying.
Maybe I'll take that back, Randy. He hit pretty hard.
99, yeah, 99's are not done for the day.
You know, when I watch those doggone Sprint Cup car tomorrow's hit the wall, I mean, they clobber. They keep going, you know. These things are a little not as tough.
Well, and one of the goals of the new car that NASCAR is talking about is to make it a little safer, a little more. Geyer, Darnell, Leffler, that's your top 5.
When they come off that turn 4, they almost touch every single time. They try to clear each other. And you see Eric Darnell.
Oh, and a crash. And Brad Coleman and the 32 of Eichler. And both these cars were running in the top 10. They were 7th and 8th on the track. And this is exactly what Brad Coleman did not need.
A lot this year to Coleman. Feel sorry for him. He's got a great car he's driving there, having a good run.
Take another look.
Simultaneous sprint. I mean, I'm not quite sure they even touched each other.
Is this synchronized spinning? Ooh, ow, that hurt.
Is that a limiting event?
Not anymore.
Okay.
You can't tell if that really happened a little farther back in the corner. Maybe they got
12.
Justin's getting a little loose right there, but that's not the one we're actually talking about. He's going to get down this next corner. Allgaier loses it, takes out Austin Dillon, and tears off the right front corner of Justin Allgaier's fender. And he was really slowing up there, guys.
Let's listen.
He was pedaling, then he says, I'm just holding it wide open. And he cut down the left front of the 2 car, and he went up and just finally cut out.
On board with Jason Leffler.
Guys, I can tell you one thing. The only place that ever works is on a video game.
Yeah.
I watched
that left front tire flat. He's like, oh, man, I'm going to hit the fence.
And when you're wide open to center this turn 1 and 2, you don't have any steering, you're going to hit something. And we could see this tire getting ready to get in trouble with all the smoke pouring off it. It went down awful quick, though.
All right. Nationwide Series at Iowa, presented by GoDaddy.com, is Kyle Busch. Does he set another record? Whoa, and before we go to break, we've got caution as Morgan Shepherd, who was running in the 17th position on the lead lap, has gotten it turned around. And that is our 11th caution.
Looks like he had a flat right rear tire.
Into the stretch.
Boy, you talk about a shootout. Look at us, a 3 wide down into turn 1.
Carl Edwards trying to take the low line and gets around a couple of cars. He was 5th on the restart, moving to 3rd. Oh, look out! Allgaier, cars pinched, including Stephen Wallace and Eric Darnell. Can they sort it out? No. We're going to go yellow.
Man, you can see it happen. They come 3 wide off of turn 2, and they're locked down together. Unbelievable. Off of turn 2, 3 wide, and they all get hooked like this.
3 cars in the top.
It's like they're raced into a funnel, and they all just kind of come into there, all come together.
Justin Allgaier gets loose and gets up, and Eric Darnell and Stephen. Too bad. 15 laps to go. They're all having great runs.
Here's another view.
They just run out of real estate, you know.
Yeah.
Stevens on the outside, the 12 kind of come up, and then the 6 just all boom.
3 cars trying to fit in the space of 2. Here we go on board.
4 wide.
Well, you can actually tell that the 6 car kind of wedged himself in between these 2 guys.
And the 12 hasn't lifted yet. He lifted all the way down to turn 1.
I'll tell you what, they're trying to stay off the wall, Randy.
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, like you said, video games is not.
A 1/10 of a second faster than Kyle Busch right now.
White flag is out. Listen to the crowd. 7/8 of a mile to traverse for the 88 of Brad Keselowski. And who says you need practice?
We're talking about practice, boys.
Down the back straightaway the last time into turn number 3 with plenty of air to spare. The 88 of Brad Keselowski with his 2nd win and an inaugural win at Iowa.
What a big win that was.
Kyle Busch 2nd, Jason Leffler 3rd, Carl Edwards 4th, Kelly Byers 5th, Jason Keller up to 6th at the end, Kenny Wallace 7th, McDowell 8th, Lagacy 9th, and Stephen Light rounds out
on lap 39, and that's because Steve Wallace cut a right front tire, and into the wall he went.
Yeah, Rick, let's take a look at what happened here. Steve was just riding along there, and all of a sudden the right front went down.
And, you know, that happened at probably the worst place it could have built. Dead in the center of the turn. You can see the front tire looks fine. Boom, there it goes flat.
And look how that thing almost turns dead right. It really goes straight, but as a driver, you feel like it turned right.
That's exactly right. You can see this thing just abruptly go the wrong direction.
Yeah, and there was no contact between Steven and either one of these other two trucks. When it goes down, though, thank goodness for those safer barriers.
He was running 18th at the time, and he was about to get lapped because Austin Dillon was coming up behind him. Our Aaron's lucky dog, Michael, goes to David Starr.
Making dreams come true. A free pass at a...
Today fans saying, when is that first victory of 2010 going to get here?
Has his teammate right behind him, Ray, and Kenny Schrader. Trouble on the racetrack.
The 51 of Eric Almirola into the wall. Now, that was the big question. Would teammates have the same problem?
And less laps this time, only about 30 laps since our restart, so...
A lot of times you engineer these things, you design them out to get the most grip and put as much load on the tires as you can. Obviously, something went wrong with the design on the front ends of the 51 and 15 trucks because it abused that right front tire, blew it out, and caused it to crash.
Could have been possibly low air pressure, could have been excessive camber, or could have just been the setup, but unfortunately, it looks very much like his teammate, the 15 of Steve.
You want to get all the pressure on those tires they can get. It's going to make it turn through the corner better. Sometimes you overload it with pressure. It makes it fast for a while, but it won't last.
This is what Matt Crafton saw when he was driving down the corner. You see just up ahead.
Wow.
You know,
how violent that is.
We talk about this being a short track, Michael, but the pole speed was 135 miles an hour. So
yesterday we looked at it, you know, really good. And I don't know. It's just these are the kind of days we were trying to hope to avoid. You know, we weren't looking for this for our Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra. We had a really good truck, we felt like, and we needed to make a few adjustments on pit stops to get it better to where we could go up there and race for the lead. But I felt like we were definitely a second.
Skinner up front, but not for long. Battle to the inside.
Look at Austin Dillon down to the bottom of the track. They're 3 wide, and we just restarted.
Austin Dillon looking to the inside of that 5 of Mike Skinner. Wants to get back up front. He's been the dominant truck today.
3 wide, back for the 5th position.
Uh-oh. Truck in the middle is pushing up.
Ryan Eichler in that 18 trying to keep it down.
Donnie Leo was in jeopardy there.
Oh, bounce off the wall.
The 62, Greg Pursley, slides into the infield, and that brings out our 4th caution.
Yeah, he was just a victim. They got to racing really hard there. The 07 of Donnie Lee got to the wall. You see the damage on Brian Eichler's truck right there. There's Donnie bouncing off the wall, and actually the 18 came across the left front corner of Todd's truck, so he was headed towards the outside wall while this happened.
But did Todd turn the 07?
Take another look.
Does Todd turn the 07 into the 18? Or the 8? Oh.
See, the 07, I think, got into the outside wall, and the 18 came across Todd's nose and turned himself into the outside wall.
I think the 07 was the least at fault. I don't know that he was going to have any issues. Todd's, yeah, the 07's fine. Todd,
I'm not sure he was. I don't think the 07 hit the wall until the 18 forced him in the wall.
And he didn't let off either. He was having a good run off the corner. Todd stuck his nose into a very, very small hole, and we know how hard it is to keep these trucks down exiting the corner. Watch. Todd's in that little bitty gap there. Man, you can't go there.
6, so, you know, they're going to have around 90 laps, and the caution light's out right now. We'll be able to figure it out.
Apparently you called for it. You got it, Phil.
Something's happened to Jason White down into turn 3.
Jay White in the 23, slow on the racetrack. He bounced off of the wall, and you see the right front down on that race truck.
His damage is not the same as we saw from the
down.
That may bring some debris on the racetrack.
And the caution comes out, so he's going to have to do it one more time. Can Austin Dillon hold off Johnny Sauter? It looks as though we will have potentially a green-white checkered finish in Iowa.
Outside for sure.
Outside worked for him the last time. Johnny Sauter had a really good restart.
And remember, he's in control of the start, too.
Look at all that debris going onto the racetrack. Yeah. So like you said, Phil, the only thing I don't like about the outside is he puts himself a little bit in Johnny Sauter's jeopardy. Johnny goes down in the corner and wants to wash up a little bit.
Austin Dillon has the white flag. 1 lap to go for Dillon.
We know the next flag is going to end this thing.
And look at Dillon putting distance between himself and second place Johnny Sauter. Austin Dillon looking to become the second youngest driver to find victory lane in the Camping World Truck Series. Coming out of turn number 4, we've got another first-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Austin Dillon wins at Iowa.
And look at the crowd. They love seeing that black 3 truck take the checkered flag. Great job, Austin.
You heard a woo-hoo.
You call that. Hell of a job, Austin Dillon. You are the man, buddy.
We got trouble, guys.
And trouble in turn 4. They are spinning and wrecking. Morgan Shepherd is involved, and he gets tagged pretty hard right there by the 10 of Taylor Malsom. And there were other cars spinning up high, and it was just a mess back there in the middle of the pack. I said they got through 1 and 2 clean, 3 and 4 not the same.
That's something that we were a little bit concerned about, Ricky, on the restarts here on the colder tires. This is a little bit harder tire combination that Goodyear's brought, and it takes a little bit of time to get temperature in those cars. You can just where the guys were talking about them slipping and sliding, and when you're in traffic, takes them perfect.
And it looks like Mike Bliss in the 40 and Morgan Shepherd in the 21. They first make contact.
Drivers describe the tires being edgy on corner entry, and there's a little bump down here in 1 2. This happened off of 4, so
Here's
they got
again.
It's like they got through the hard part of the racetrack.
You know, it's funny though, off of 4 has been the hard part most of the day today. There you see Malsom getting into the 21 of Shepherd, but that happened in the middle of the corner, and 21 and 40 just getting loose.
Backed into the wall.
I don't think he's given up. He is still on the tail of Kyle Busch. Trevor Bayne trying to get back the lead, which was rightfully his, and we've got a car in the wall. That is Reed Sorensen up in the wall in turn 1 and 2, and now he's got fire.
Big hit. Looked like he had a problem getting in there to be hit that hard on the right front.
Did it not look to you like a right front going down? Maybe too much camber here early. There's some
corner.
A little scrape off the corner exit, so maybe.
That's Tony Raines right there up in front at the top of your screen. He's having an issue.
Right front went down. You can see it leading all the way into the corner.
So that was one of the yellow cars involved. And here is Sorensen.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You heard the pop.
Yeah. Sure did. And Ricky, as you were talking about the camber, I hope that's not the reason that the Braun cars have the speed that we're talking about, because if they're all set the same way, they better take a look at the others.
That is such a great point. Drivers love right front camber. It feels good. It's fast.
This is the look from Michael Annette, our in-race reporter, and he sees Sorensen just go straight up.
It feels good, it's fast, but there's no longevity to it.
Well, this is Reed Sorensen again at the exit of turn number 2, and while the safety workers... And a big-time collision between Brian Keselowski in the 26 and Colin Brown. Mark Green in the 49 also involved, and Brendan Gaughan, who was having a great run after starting 25th, had worked his way up through the field. The 16 car is another one who went to a backup today after a qualifying crash. Colin Brown is going to be done for the day.
Hope there are. Wow, not a great weekend for Roush Fenway nationwide cars.
That is 4. Is that right? 4 cars now destroyed. 2 by the 16, 2 by the 6. And remember, Ricky Stenhouse is running a backup car that was in Carl Edwards' hauler before the day started. There is the safety crew attending to Brian Keselowski, but he's got the window net down. Ooh, Brown up in the wall.
Looks like another failed right front tire, the way the car shot.
Here comes Keselowski. Bang.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we talk about this being a short track, but that illustrates how fast a track it is.
And look at Paul Menard. He was running up in the top group too, along with the black and yellow car that's gone. They were running well and just got caught up in that.
And another component of hard tires is you can't do anything quick. You can't brake. You can't steer left or right.
Oh, wow. That's a hard impact. And then you see sliding up on the top, there comes Menard.
It gives you an idea of just how fast this place is. The guys have said it's actually much faster than Richmond because of that banking in the bigger corner.
Whoa, Steve Arpin making a great save, dirt tracking we could say, coming off of turn number 2. And the cleanup crew.
Maybe not turn down in as quick because that creates heat in the right front. We got our caution out, guys. Right front.
Is it possibly exactly
what we talked about earlier with Reed Sorensen?
And you look at the numbers don't lie. It's roughly the same spot, green flag running, that we've had twice. So there is a trend here.
And a couple of reasons we pointed to, you know, Jim mentioned he talked to the NASCAR or to the Goodyear engineers who are pointing to the beads melting on the inside, excessive brake heat, and Ray wondering earlier if maybe some of these short track setups here are not providing enough air to those right fronts and causing that excessive heat.
Well, if you look, guys, if we just got a quick look at the front of Brian Scott's car, I did notice a lot of brake duct opening. If we can get another shot of that, but that might be
on a net now. Again, we mentioned a net running in the 10th. So
those guys spark.
There it is. And that's Mike Wallace.
But it looks very similar, doesn't it, to what we've had?
Sure does.
Caution is out. It looks identical to what we've seen here.
Guys, and unfortunately, it's right about that same window.
Yep, as we look, they were last on pit road, lap 163. So that's your 50 lap mark right there, Ray, and that's about all we've seen out of a number of cars on that right front.
So which means this last set of tires could take us right down to the sort of the bubble area.
Oh man! And then we talked about Carl Edwards earlier taking care of his right front. When does he go for it? You know, and how do you know? I guess it depends on how hard you've been driving it during these runs, right?
It depends a lot, and I think that, you know, Ray,
the air goes out. We just catch the sparks as the car's going up the track, and there's Mike Wallace right there. Again, another veteran driver, so you would assume that Mike knows how to take care of brakes and stuff. So again, here we go on pit road. They're come for their last set of tires.
Caused Busch not to win here at the Iowa Speedway. We continue to watch DiBenedetto trying to beat Allgaier. They're coming to the white flag now, and they'll have one more lap to figure this one out. Keeping our eye on that, we've got one eye on Kyle Busch as well. Kyle Busch goes from Pocono back and forth to qualify his race car here and win at Iowa in its second ever race. Here's the race to the checkered flag between Allgaier and DiBenedetto, and Allgaier is going to prevail out of the final corner. Boy, what a great battle down to the end between those two. Here you see the rest of your top 10 flashing across the screen. Josh Wise and Shelby Howard having a great run as well. But there is the guy.
Oh, around in front of him goes Brian Eichler, sideways through turn 2.
He's going to keep it out of the outside wall. Caution flag is out.
So Eichler brings out the first caution as we've completed 10 laps.
We just talked about how much experience Brian Eichler has here, as well as David Mayhew. And the first caution is for a spin by Brian Eichler.
You know, in Loudon right now, I'm sure his boss, Kyle Busch, was watching this race after just winning that nationwide race. And
He's running by himself.
That's how hard it is to run one of these things around here at the speeds these guys are running. I mean, they look stable, but I'm telling you, every one of these guys is on the edge of control. That's how hard they're pushing it.
And Michael, there's some bumps over there. The tunnel is right at turn number 2 here, and the guys were saying that a lot of times these bumps are really upsetting these trucks, and maybe the bumps induce that little bit of a spin by Brian.
Sure looks good early.
He's carried it up to the 3rd place right now.
Riding along with Parker Kligerman.
Couple of strong runs in a row by this team. It's really good to see that.
Around goes Ricky Carmichael in the 4. Right in front of the grandstands. Also slowing behind him. That's the 63 of Jack Smith.
Yeah, Jack got caught up in the aftermath, it looks like.
Ricky's got a lot of damage to the left side of that truck. Jack's going to be okay. Pull some fenders out on that one. He'll be all right, but I believe Ricky will have to have extensive.
Got loose right there. Fortunately, he didn't take Miguel with him. Look at Top Bodine. Watch Top Bodine drive by on the inside. Brendan gone on the outside before Ricky back up into the outside safer barrier.
We talked about these guys being right on the edge of control. Look at the outside line. Barely sneaked by.
And Top Bodine was looking straight at Ricky's door and turned that truck hard left to miss him.
Oh, and Eichler runs into the back of Jack Smith and turns him in the outside wall. By the time you're that far back, guys, you're relying totally on your spotter. You can't see what's happening up ahead of you off the turn. And that's why I don't think maybe a TV booth might be the place you belong.
How about Parker Kligerman as we see the caution come out once again? This time it's for the 23 of Jason White.
Looks like a right front tire.
Right front down on that 23.
That's really tough right there, Phil, because he needs to get back to the pit, but going that fast, he could drag a sway bar arm, damage the undercarriage of that truck, and ruin his whole night. So have to sort of balance getting back, driving it hard.
How about these names on the left side of your screen? looking for their first Camping World Truck Series win, and where they're running now.
Oh, we got a spinner on the front straightaway. He's going to hit the wall. Golly.
66, Justin Marks. Hard into that inside wall. And so the front end of his truck totaled.
And that's a shame. You come to Iowa and figure out a way to find the only wall that doesn't have safer barrier on it.
He straight away. But obviously sliding like that, he scrubbed off a lot of speed, but boy, that thing hits about as square as it can hit.
You can see how much damage it did to that truck and the wall. Luckily, it gave a little. Just think that took away some of the shock to Justin's body.
And it acted somewhat like a safer barrier.
That's exactly what it's. That's exactly how a safer barrier works, and we saw a good example of it there. I don't like calling the safer barriers soft walls. They're not soft. They're still very hard. They just happen to be able to take away some of the energy that the driver feels for the sudden stop. Spreads that, delays the action to the driver over a little bit of time.
So they'll have to work on the wall. That's actually the outside wall of pit road. Let's take another look at what happened here with Justin Marks in the 66.
Oh, he got a little bit sideways, I think, and then there was some contact. It looked like maybe from the 9 of Max Pappas, but it looked like possibly that he got a little bit sideways first before that contact from Max.
I saw those trucks, though, feel like early in the race, maybe lap 10 or 12, all over each other down the front straightaway. So sometimes you just wind up in the same area of another guy. And I don't know if Max, I saw the truck get sideways, but it looked like they were.
The pit under green.
Oh, we got a
lap
low
down.
tire up in turn 4.
And up against the wall, the 4 of Ricky Carmichael once again. The caution will come out, and all of that strategy we talked about goes out the window.
Out the window. Totally out the window. Just forget what I just said.
We had it covered for you. Fans, if you wanted to know exactly how this was going to play out, if that didn't happen, we had your bases covered. But man, we talked about these being safer barriers and not soft walls. Did you see how much narrowed up the front of that Ford truck was after that contact? Must be 3 feet narrower now.
It's been a rough race for Ricky Carmichael. Damage to the rear of that truck, now damage to the right front, the whole right side.
It's been a rough year for Ricky Carmichael. Big crash up at Dover, had a bad crash at Darlington.
Been really competitive in the races. He's been able to get to the end. See him, right front tire goes down, Michael, and nothing he could do about it. He'd locked the brakes up, and it actually spun the truck a little bit sideways.
Follow along with Parker Kligerman. Watch this tire blow out.
And hard into the wall for Carmichael.
Yeah, tough break for Parker Kligerman. We saw him run out of.
Crafton will see the white flag one more time around to get his second career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
We've got the 33 lap truck of Ron Hornaday. Are they going to get to him?
Down the back stretch they go. Crafton with a 2-truck link lead over Austin Dillon.
What an amazing job Matt Crafton did holding off that surge of Austin Dillon.
Coming through 3 and 4. Coming up on slower lap traffic. Matt Crafton's going to see the checkered flag. Crafton will win in Iowa.
What a great race.
Cole Witt is able to stay in front of James Busher. It's Crafton, Dillon, Mayhew, Sauter, Coulter, Witt, Busher, Nelson Piquet Jr., David Starr, and Tom
Cope also in this battle, and all of a sudden the 31, Justin Allgaier, has got problems, and we have caution on the track.
One of the 4 going for the dash for cash 100,000.
You can tell.
Getting into turn 1, and the right front goes down. Just as it loads up in the middle of the corner. That's actually turn 3.
Got to slow it down a lot.
We've got the yellow flag out here at Iowa Speedway as the 02 of Jamie Dick has tagged the wall, and there the 14 has now gotten into him because the 14 of Eric McClure had a tire going down. So 2 unrelated incidents end up colliding together.
That's pretty exciting there.
Well, let's go back. In fact, our spotter's up. Yeah, this is well after he's already tagged the wall, and the 14 had a tire on the right front that was going down, and they end up into each other.
Yeah, Jamie Dick is trying to get off the wall and get down to the apron, and you could almost see where a spotter right here is saying, hey, he's low, because he tries to turn back to the right, I think. I don't know.
And our leader, Sam Harnish, skipped a couple heartbeats when all that was happening right in front of him.
Yeah, remember he and David were
at a track, and he's going to do it for the second time at Iowa.
Here we go. 7/8 of a mile to go for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He picked up his first career win here back in May. And all he has to do now is negotiate 2 more corners, and he's going to do it again at Iowa Speedway.
He dominated last week, Marty. Didn't get the win, but it looks as though he's got a little redemption in mind here tonight.
Oh, look out as he has a tire situation. Here comes Edwards right into it. They cross the line, and guess who wins the race? Stenhouse.
Well, thanks to Carl Edwards. Gave him
what a real finish. Sadler comes across the line 3rd. Wise 4th, Almirola 5th, and Reed Sorensen wins the $100 grand in the dash for cash. And Ricky wins for the second time, courtesy of a shove from Carl Edwards.
If Carl could have avoided him, he would have won the race, but he had nowhere to go. He couldn't react quick enough.
To go all the way to the bottom, you're going to have a tighter truck. That's why they can leave it up a little higher, drive a little straighter in the corner, and tighten that thing up. Caution flag on the racetrack.
First caution flag comes out on lap 23. And it doesn't look like there's trucks around, but potentially something involved. Oh, there it is right there. The 27 of Ryan Lynch around up on the inside wall.
He is around.
He definitely is.
Pointing the wrong direction.
James Busher, who is in second, and just in front of him, Ryan Lynch in that 27. Here's a close call.
Just got a little bit loose coming in the corner. You heard James Busher grab 3rd gear. He wanted to be able to take some evasive action quickly if he needed to.
And that's how hard these things are to drive, Phil. You see a little damage on the nose of that truck. He nosed it into the inside wall. These guys...
And Blaney in the 29.
Blaney working the high side and the momentum.
Oh, we got a crash off turn 4. Crafton and Peters into the wall. Point leader into the wall.
And the 4 also sliding through the infield. Augie Grill slides across the grass.
Grill's okay, but our point leader isn't. There's a lot of damage to that 17 truck. Looked like he and Matt Crafton were racing off turn 4 and got together in both of those trucks. And oh, he just doesn't have him cleared, Phil.
Just looked like he thought he was clear. You talked about how important it was to a driver to hear that clear coming off the corner. He wasn't clear.
Right along with the 17.
These are the mistakes you can't make if you're going to win a championship. Too early in the race to be assuming there's room.
Did he get out of the throttle just before he slid up? Maybe had to chase the front end up there or something. Didn't intend to do that.
We also saw, again, Augie Grill in the 4 sliding. He was on the inside as those 2 were slapping the wall coming off of turn 4.
Huge. See what Peters and Crafton's teams are able to do to try to keep them in this championship chase.
Can they rebound from an early incident? Problems. John West Townley in the 09 is around.
That's the exit of turn number 2. That's a break that Timothy Peters and Matt Crafton definitely needed.
They got to work on
the inside of the 08.
He lost it going into the corner and battled it all the way to Loft, and it finally went around on him.
Joey Coulter and Brendan Newberry, great job avoiding on the high side.
They may have made some contact when Joey Coulter pulled to the outside. Let's see if we can see that right here. Joey's going to pull to the outside to go around John West, see if he runs into the 14.
Wow.
They
looks
go
like
up
he
the
might
racetrack,
have.
and there could have been some contact there between the 22 and 14.
Well, and Coulter couldn't see where he was going. He was driving.
Him drive it down in the corner and clear somebody before he got to the center.
Now we're seeing the 18. Drew Herring trying to make his way by the 33 of Cale Gill. That's another spot for position. It looks like smoke coming out of the 4.
Looks like somebody got in his left front.
Caution has come out once again. We got a problem in turn number 2. Ron Hornaday, a lot of damage to the back of that truck.
Yeah, if that's not terminal, that's going to be awfully close to terminal for Ron Hornaday. So excited about having this new sponsor, Smoky Mountain.
Whoa.
That's the 4 truck getting into the outside while he and Jason White made some contact.
He was all up beside Jason White. Jason didn't know he's there. You think maybe that's a tough area for the spotters to see, Phil? Maybe the drivers don't really know what's going on there? Wow. Nelson Piquet Jr. just couldn't hold his truck low.
Did he make contact? It looked like he might have made some contact with Hornaday.
I don't think he could hold his truck low when he got to turn 1 and got into the left rear corner of Ron Hornaday, and Ron took the ride into. He gets into the corner, so they know there is some work that they can do to it and some improvements they can make to it. But
no trouble, Justin Lofton into the wall hard. Front end of that truck smashed as the caution comes out once again.
See damage of another truck rolling down the back. See, there's a 07. He got up in the loose stuff a little bit.
The truck hit Justin Lofton.
Yeah, Wow. Head on into the outside safer barrier for Justin Lofton.
I said he hit one of the walls. Don't ever assume what these people hit. I mean, he made contact with Justin Lofton. You can see there's
about tore the front end off that truck.
It did, and Lofton was trying to slip by the 07 of Rourke, but just couldn't make it under him.
Remember, we watched it in slow motion.
And tightens this field up once again. He's working his way on the apron. Actually, that's Jennifer Jo Cobb. She's working her way around the apron.
Oh, spin on the front straightaway. It's Kligerman.
And Kligerman slides on the front straightaway. Problems with that truck. That's going to bring the caution out.
And right front tire is down on that truck.
So's the right rear.
Yeah, he's got some issues trying to even get back to pit road.
Was running in the 4th spot. 21 laps to go, and both right side tires are flat.
Man, this is what an 18-year-old kid doesn't want to see. A bunch of cautions late in the go. Times for Ryan Blaney.
See him get loose there. That may have been in the oil from Jennifer Jo Cobb's truck.
That's certainly a possibility, Phil. Good call, because she blew up just off turn 4. She was able to get to the bottom quickly, but when she came off 4, she was up high.
Going to be a big break for Jason White. And there's our lucky dog. A great move by that 88 truck. Those guys stayed with it after that contact early.
Check for Ryan Blaney. Perfect job. He's able to get away from Ty Dillon and those boys. Wow, Ty about spun out off turn 2.
And into the wall. We've got the 65. That looks like Justin Jennings has hit the wall in turn 2.
Recipe for cautions. We just had one.
Again, up into the outside wall. 65 of Justin Jennings. Driving that Mittler Brothers truck. So that brings the caution out for the 8th time. And what it also does is escalate the tension here at Iowa Speedway. 29. Here comes the 11 on the inside. Todd Bodine trying to make the move, as well as the 13 of Johnny Sauter. 3 wide per second behind the 29.
How about Ty Dillon all the way to the top? He runs out of room.
Into 3 and 4. This time by, it'll be 7 laps of racing.
Oh, we got
to go.
a spin behind.
Going up the racetrack. Also, Buscher goes around.
Another point contender.
Out once again.
And another restart that this young man has to.
Another look at what happened.
Ooh, right in the middle of 2 trucks, in the middle of Ross Chastain, the 08, Jeff Jaquette, and the 97. It's amazing how all the point contenders have had trouble, it seems like, tonight, maybe with the exception of Ty Dillon.
Riding along with him.
You can see he just gets loose on the inside of Jaquette, hits Jaquette, and around he goes. You talk about Ty Dillon not having any problems, but early in this race, Phil, he was out to lunch. He's running back outside the top 10, 12th or 13th. It looked like he didn't have anything for him tonight, but he's rebounded nicely.
Certainly has.
He's Mr. Rebound, you know.
That's right. Time by. White flag in the air. One more time around Iowa Speedway.
We know we're going to finish this thing. The next flag's going to do it. Ty Dillon doing all he can. They're up high.
Dillon working down the backstretch. Does he have enough time? Can he get the momentum as they go through 3 and 4?
That's what that high side does, Rick. It builds momentum. He's going to make a run at him.
Coming through turn 4 into the front stretch. The 29 of Ryan Blaney will win the race at Iowa. You just saw the youngest winner in Camping World Truck Series history make it back to the checkered flag.
And that was one proud papa standing there in the pits.
Tires are worn late in the race. Jason Leffler gets back to the gas, loses the grip, moves up. And remember, Brendan Gaughan's already in the accelerator here. Great save. Right here, the track is really dirty. When you get up in there, you hear all kinds of noises and you're along for the ride. That was a good save.
So there is Brendan Gaughan, shown in 9th, with the white flag lap.
White flag, clear about 50.
Marty, they didn't need it a month from now. They needed it this week. They have to find a way to put last week in the rearview mirror, and nothing does it more than a dominant week, dominant race. That's what we've seen out of Elliott.
The streak is going to end for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. His domination of Iowa is over. It now belongs to Elliott Sadler Jr.
Taking this championship from me. Yeah, baby! Way to go, driver. Way to go, team. Really proud of this whole group.
You had 193 of the 200 laps. The 98 of Johnny Sauter, after being so good early, looks as though he just got into the wall, has damage to the right side, right?
And Rick, when they pitted on lap 56, they raised the track bar on that truck. That should have loosened it up a little bit, but Johnny said the truck actually was tighter and tighter. They were getting ready to make a wedge adjustment, but because he got into the wall, that yellow flag is out. Now everybody will have a chance to work on their vehicles. We're getting under caution at lap 112.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter into the wall. We're hearing debris on the race.
Something was wrong there because he backed off way early going in turn number 3. He was running in the 9th spot. I noticed that he wasn't able to keep up with Matt Crafton, who he didn't.
A great restart for the 3 of the 3 of Ty Dillon. Timothy Peters trying to stay out in front of him. Here comes James Busher to the inside. He'll take second away from Ty Dillon.
Yeah, James thought about making it 3 wide there for just a moment, and he is going to get that second spot away from Ty Dillon. Remember, all these guys pitted with 86 laps to go. That's right in our pit window. We heard a lot of the crew chiefs during our commercial break talking about telling their drivers to save some fuel.
Side-by-side fourth position. Jeff Burton's going to go around in the 4.
Hold the brake.
Ooh, a lot of damage to the rear of that truck just at the last second.
Jeff Burton coming off the win at Texas.
How it just sucks the back end of that Ford truck around.
We talked about it earlier. You cannot get that close from beside another truck because that's what's going to happen. Jeb went down the corner and he was a little high, couldn't get to the bottom because it was already getting loose, and then he got sucked around. It's just a bad circumstance, and gets hit in the front end at the same time.
Yeah, there was some contact made by Chase Elliott in the 94 as well, so we'll have to take a look at the front end of the 94 to see how much damage is done to that.
There's a contact right there. Then a little bit of contact with the right rear corner of Bubba Wallace's number 54 truck.
Then, of course, back into the wall. Let's ride along with Hornaday.
Just spinning, watch him spin it right in front of you. Go low, 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 low. There he goes.
Great job by Ron getting by that.
Crafton, Blaney, Coulter, Chase Elliott, and Herman Quiroga. Issues on the front stretch. The 54 of Bubba Wallace around. Caution comes out. 34 laps to go. All right, I'll throw the crew chief hat on you both. You've got,
but just gets a little bit loose at the exit of 4, and around he goes.
Rolling here. Get it rolling. Get it rolling. Leaders are coming. Get it rolling.
You see him driving the whole time. He's running in the 13th spot. Kim Lopez has a good view of that from her perch atop the spotter, the
flag stand. So lower lap traffic. Busher using that same line, and contact made. Herman Quiroga gets into the 29, and the 29 backs it into the wall. Caution comes out again.
Tough break for Ryan Blaney, running up in the top 10. A good solid run again for Ryan. They're racing down in turn number 3. You see this 77 truck get loose.
There you go. Another perfect example of getting sucked around. Herman, the 29 was right down on Herman, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to suck you around.
Still there.
And unfortunately, Ryan Blaney is the one that's going to pay the price for that.
We're in it. He turned us.
Ryan's already lost a lap.
Yeah, they can't get the jack underneath the truck right now. They're trying to lift it up. The backstretch. We take another look. Flag flies. 1 to go in Iowa.
Still have a lot of battle, a lot of side-by-side battles on this racetrack up in the top 10.
And here comes Jones. He's closed the gap down. 1 turn to go. Can Timothy Peters hold on? 4 of the 5 wins for Timothy Peters have come on short tracks, and this will be win number 6 for Timothy Peters.
That's great call with the 2 tires, man. Proud of you guys. That's the way, baby. Nice job, man. Good job, everybody. That's the way. That's what we needed right there. Good job, man. Burn that thing down, buddy.
Possibly a broken part on that 94, as you were talking about how it was riding differently, and now we have the right rear tire go down just as we were watching.
Yeah, and that right rear
this season, including that win a week ago. We've talked about highs and lows in this sport. You go from winning the ultimate high to this.
I'd be interested to see what may have. Obviously, the rear tire caused that spin in contact with the outside wall, but something caused that front end to be where it was.
Yeah, and something caused him to be running 24th. I
exactly.
mean, you said he's never finished worse than 6th in a truck race. From the get-go, that truck was off, and it appears The only thing that I could think that make the front end that high is if there was a shock problem, because
24 will be looking. Hang on to her.
you could hear him gas it up.
See what was wrong, guys.
Let's show this as he comes onto the front stretch.
See right there. And then look at Timothy Peters' truck. Right down on the racetrack, which is the attitude that we see from most of these trucks. They're at least 3 or 4 inches higher.
Yeah, look, that's a great view of it there, guys. That shows that something isn't right with the front of that truck. And I know you're saying, well, the right rear tire was low. It wasn't that low. That wouldn't have caused that. And we noticed it earlier that it looked like it had a strange attitude. And if we're on a short track like Martinsville, you might see the front of the truck up clear the guy, and you can't do it.
And once again, we're seeing that high line come back into play. Looks as though
we got spinning
for Dillon. Spinning in turn 4. The 4 of Jeb Burton and the 33 of Brandon Jones involved.
The teammates from Turner Scott Motorsports, they were battling for the 9th position.
Looked like the classic example of the kid, the 33 maybe. Well, I say kid, they're both 16 and 21, so.
4th caution coming out. See some damage to the left rear of that 33 of Brandon Jones.
Huge break for Jason.
Classic down on the inside and getting loose.
Well, he was loose just about even before he got down in the corner. He was already loose.
Brandon Jones, not a lot of experience. We talked the 150-mile-an-hour speeds down in the corner. He was in the inside of Jeff Burton. Just couldn't turn the truck left enough to keep it off of Burton without it getting loose, and that's exactly what happened.
Such a tough break for him. The young man was running in the top 10, looked like he had a good solid top 10 going, and unfortunately a mistake got a little bit.
Racing to go. Blaney in front of Ross Chastain. Then it's Peters. Contact from the 31 of Buscher. Peters is sideways. He keeps it straight until he catches up to the 3 of Ty Dillon. Caution comes out.
Well, we're going to get to do it again.
Oh, me.
With teammates on the front row once again. And how about Bubba Wallace now running 3rd?
Yeah, and how about Ryan Blaney gets to choose? Do I choose the inside or the outside? Which will work best?
Okay. This test doesn't have a clear. It was on the inside of Timothy Peters. Timothy turns into the corner. James wasn't dead on the bottom of the racetrack, but watch Timothy drive this baby. Holds on to it, gets into the side of the 3 truck of Ty Dillon, and finally loses control.
I think if the 3 wasn't there, Timothy would have saved that.
The entire field did a great job avoiding Timothy. You see him, he stays with it.
What a great run by Ty Dillon driving around Timothy Peters. He had to really get hard on the brakes. That's one of them deals where you're down to the last few laps and a couple of people going for the same piece of ground.
There's James Buscher.
You see, James had already committed to the corner. So he got in the corner as hard as he could get in. Then Timothy came down. He did not expect Timothy to come down. You see, James had made the move there. And then Timothy was just trying to take the normal low line into the corner.
We're hearing that NASCAR is taking a look at how they want to set the field for this restart.
Phil, are other people going to be in trouble on their fuel? We heard his crew talking earlier.
For the restart, green-white checker, green flag back in the air.
Great jump by Ross Chastain. He got a big gap on Buscher, but Buscher's strong on that high side.
Here comes the momentum. Ross Chastain trying to hang on. Joey Coulter behind him, gets up into the wall. Collects the 62 of Brendan Gaughan.
Buscher has the lead. We have to see when he got the lead. See Ross Chastain trying to drive underneath him, but caution is out. We will have another attempt at a green-white checker finish. There's Brendan Gaughan. He got caught up when the 8.
Joey Coulter, damage to that truck. Another look.
Looked like something might have happened to Brendan Gaughan's truck. He looked like he went straight for a moment there, and that forced the 18 up into the outside wall, caught him in the left rear quarter panel. A lot of damage to both of those trucks.
Well, this doesn't help your fuel issues any, boys. We talk about Matt Crafton.
Okay, those trucks were pretty even, so it all depends on when the caution came out. And
they do get to the white flag. Buscher out in front, 1 to go.
What an outstanding job James Buscher did on the last 2 restarts. One got him the lead, the next one kept him the lead.
And think about that call he made from the cockpit of coming to pit road and getting those tires. He made it on the fly, and it was the right call.
James Buscher gets to victory lane in Michigan. He'll do it again in 2013. Buscher winning in Iowa. Ross Chastain coming home in second. Ty Dillon after
Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch concentrating on his Sprint Cup effort in Pocono this weekend. And Herring, the 26-year-old, oh, trouble turn 2. Brad Sweet in the 5.
Brad had a little trouble in qualifying as well.
And Kevin Swindell in the 98. '44 was Cole Witt.
Yeah, certainly an error there. There's much rubber up there for sure right now.
It's got to be one of the hardest things for a driver. You want to race.
Oh,
there it is. Vickers going for the slide.
Caution down.
Amazing that didn't take out Trevor Bayne as well.
Just before the competition caution, we get the second yellow.
Stay down low. Get going.
Vickers actually got away with it without much damage. Trevor Bayne's giving him plenty of room, but they do have this lap car. You get in there, that's a little wider than you'd normally enter there, and he was trying to keep that momentum and just a little too much for the tires to hold that grip. No contact anywhere. You see, Trevor Bayne, you can feel that as a driver. That car, you don't even have to see it out of the corner of your eye. You can just feel that car and what's happening. And Trevor did a nice job of moving up, not becoming part of the
bounce around, knowing they're right on the edge of control, doing everything they can.
Oh,
Trouble.
Around goes the 23. Spencer Gallagher bringing out the second caution of the night.
Did I say on the edge of control?
That's
just
over
past
the
edge of control.
He went just over it. Gallagher was running inside the top 20 on the lead lap. He was running.
Or your Spencer Gallagher.
On the inside of Johnny Sauter, Spencer Gallagher goes around and brings out the caution.
Be able to clear Hornet. Oh, no, he didn't. He got
into the wall.
Squeezed in the
17 of Timothy Peters. Didn't clear the 30 of Ron Hornaday, and both have damage.
That's a situation where I'm sure Timothy Peters said, you know, I'm almost clear. All he needed was just a little bit of break, and Ron didn't give it to him.
Oh, and around goes the 30. Timothy Peters not happy with the way he was being raced.
Coming to you here, clear low.
So the caution done.
See, Timothy Peters looked like he had him cleared for a moment. Then as he moved up the racetrack, Hornaday just barely had his nose there, and it turned Timothy into the outside wall.
It did look like the 17 had cleared the 30 as they were coming out, and right here you see it. He wasn't clear enough.
They went on around the racetrack, and Timothy Peters got into. That's almost at the start-finish line before the contact is made.
If Ron, I don't think Hornaday let off. I think he just thought he still had the track position and didn't want Timothy taking it away from him. And
they get together down the backstretch. That brings out the caution flag. See the damage on both trucks. There's Timothy getting into Ron Hornaday. Timothy took his truck straight to the garage area as he came off of the racetrack.
Garage area in between turns 1 and 2 here at Iowa Speedway for the trucks. Again, Timothy getting into the back of the 30, showing his displeasure at what took place on the front stretch.
Let's take a ride along with Jeb Burton in the 13 Estes truck, and you can see the spin there on the back straightaway. Jeb saying, let's get this sorted out, fellas.
And there was a little contact with some trucks just in front of Jeb, but behind the 2, the 17 and the 30 there.
Yeah, I think right now Ryan Blaney only worries about the 51 of Eric Jones because he has a huge trouble. Caution's going to come out right now.
The 12 goes around. That is Eric Cottle. And Eric
left rear tire is gone on that truck.
Looked as though he was going to catch it, but back into the infield he goes. Caution comes out with 75 to go.
How about that horrible break for the 54 Bubba Wallace?
Yeah, he's going to be 2 laps down. He'll wave around.
Brian Silas, who's having a great run here. He's on the inside of Cottle, and just that little bit of contact right there probably ripped the valve stem out of that tire.
And you could see the leader was right behind Silas. Silas is on the lead lap, running in the 12th spot. He was trying to make a forced play down to the inside of the lap truck of Cottle, made contact, spun him around, and Ryan Blaney was right on their tailgate.
That leaves us with just 12 trucks right now on the lead lap. We'll have a free pass. Looks like possibly Spencer Gallagher may get the free pass. That'll give us 13 trucks on the lead lap.
And the front of the 17 of Timothy Peters no longer on that truck. He's going to come back out, see if he can continue to make some laps.
Watch these trucks out of control. Look at Blaney sideways into Jones, but yet they didn't come off the gas at all.
Right along with Ryan Blaney.
You can hear the rear tires fight.
White flags in the air.
One more to go for Eric Jones. That's the gap between 1 and 2. Ryan Blaney running second. Eric Jones trying to keep the 51 dominance going in 2014 and trying to get back to victory lane as he works his way through 3 and 4.
No pressure right here.
Eric Jones wins for the second time in his career.
Yeah, baby!
The battle for third. Joey Coulter's going to try the high line to get by the 88 of Crafton. Crafton hangs on for third.
Good job.
How about Cole Custer trying to hold off Reddick? That's a fight for the 8th position, and Cole Custer's going to grab it.
He's got a, well, we got a 40 car sideways. Big save.
Come on.
Good save right there by Matt Benedetto, but the caution is going to come out for the 40 car getting sideways, that coming off of turn number 4. So
same scenario. Underneath the car, no room for error. There's a big bump. If you have the wheel turned, it jacks the back of the car around. And that's a big save considering he didn't have a lot of room to.
Well, it's been a battle for the 11 much of the night with that guy, the 6 car of Trevor Bayne. It seems like they have been around one another quite a bit. We got a caution, 39. That's Ryan Sieg, Dave.
Ryan is around. He brings out our 4th caution. That's just off of turn 4. Let's find out what happened to Mr. Sieg. Drove it.
He really did. You see the rear tires spinning. He goes back to the gas to keep it out of the wall.
And we were coming up on a round of green flag pit stops fairly soon, probably with. Giving it a strong challenge down into turn number 1. Side by side, Elliott and Dillon.
Brian Scott restarted 6th. He's in 3rd.
Just flying as they go down the backstretch. 26 laps to go. You got to make your move now.
Cale Conley is running 6th. He said to us earlier in the week, no, got the 14 car up in the wall.
And the 14 of Eric McClure hard into the wall. A lot of damage on that car.
Stay out there, if you bud. Stay out there.
Appears to have lost a brake. Get really narrow-minded.
How about 4 wide?
Well, that's an example.
Chase Pistone into the back of Eric McClure's car and sent him straight into the wall.
Yeah, you get paid to be selfish late in the race, but you got to be reasonable also. 4 wide's not going to work. See how the corner squares off?
Yeah, it looks wide going in, doesn't it?
Well, it's completely different than getting into turn 1. So what you get away with over in turn 1 doesn't work. And the sport is save your best for last, and that's what we're seeing out of Michael McDowell.
Ty Dillon sliding back just a bit, now under challenge from his teammate Brian Scott. Oh, and Sam Hornish with trouble. He's in the wall.
Yeah, he was going backward into the wall.
Which means?
Which means probably contact somewhere there.
Was running 7th at the time this happened.
Is when you're by yourself.
Oof.
And when you see a car shoot into the wall, it's because of that.
Was trying to come down and take that position completely over Regan Smith, and Regan wasn't given a lot of ground there.
No, and you know what? With 17 laps to go, we shouldn't.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's for them to settle, but.
Still there. Got the 62 with a run with the 7. Still there inside my
Regan
nose.
was told the 62 was
my nose
as
on
well.
you.
So.
Yeah.
We got spun here.
It just gets really busy. So Sam's doing his job. He's trying to clear the 7.
Hold up there.
If you're a member of the 7 team, you're applauding your driver because look, with 17 to go, you said, hey, and the team was
White
with us.
flag this time. Still clear but 10.
I said, hey guys, you know who has the best average finish here at Kentucky? Brendan spoke up. Yeah, I do.
He knew it. He was well aware. Also told us that he had the best pit crew on pit road.
Yes, he did.
He believes it. They kept him in contention all night, and Brendan Gaughan did what he had to do when it counted. Around the outside, to the lead, and to the win in Kentucky is Brendan Gaughan.
Do this stuff. Thank you, boys.
Outstanding. Incredible turn of events here in the final laps at Kentucky. What's that?
The outside wall, but he restarted in the 12th position.
We're going to have 28 drivers on the lead lap.
Here's the reason for the caution. Might have been Ross Chastain that had a little contact with him. That's the report we're getting from one of our spotters. And Michael, I'm thinking about Eric Jones. Didn't work out for him on that restart with 18 to go. That red car's Ross Chastain in the 01. Little contact with the 43 of Dakota Armstrong.
Yeah, one driver on the apron will work. Two side by side normally doesn't have a good
Obviously, got another great truck here tonight.
For Spencer Gallagher. Oh, and a problem on the racetrack. Gallagher is one of the trucks involved. Is Cole Custer as well?
I'm not sure.
It is.
Maybe Cole got stopped. He's certainly involved, but I'm not sure that he had any damage. We'll have to take a look at it. What a tough break for Spencer Gallagher. See Matt Crafton going underneath him. It looks like when we first saw it, the 23 was a little bit sideways. Let's take a look from Cole Custer's front bumper cam. There's Spencer Gallagher. Cole not even close to him, really. Probably half a truck length anyway. Yeah, nice job by both those drivers not getting into the outside.
We're hooked together, and now Hemrick tries to clear.
Caution behind us, behind us, behind us.
Caution's out, 2.
That's a 63 truck of Jake Griffin. Good qualifying effort for that 16-year-old in the Mittler brothers truck, but he shortened that thing up in track position.
There's a replay, and looked like the 07 Ray Black Jr. was very close to him. I can't say that he was involved, but he was right there with it. Caution. Cameron Haley, after the problems, he led early on, then the problems on pit road, now a problem on the racetrack.
I was just going to say, Phil, these guys pitting right now need this thing going green, and here we got a caution.
And what a tough break for Cameron Haley. Remember, teammates Johnny Sauter on the outside. There's Cameron Haley on the inside. Just got loose. Yep. Really did a nice job of not taking his teammate Johnny Sauter with him.
Brandon Jones looking to improve on his trouble. With problems for the 50.
Looks like Travis Quapa's into the outside safer barrier. That will bring out a caution flag. Cole Custer right now is that guy in the spot to get the free pass.
What is going through Eric Jones' mind?
Timothy Peters. Here we go, get the 50. Yeah, he probably something broke a flat tire, yeah. But now Timothy Peters.
Jones says, see ya, I'm going to the front.
Oh, trouble. John Hunter Nemechek.
Debris across the racetrack. Looks like Johnny Sauter may have picked some up.
Caleb Holman, I think, might have got a piece of that as well.
Sorry about that, Jay. Clear high.
And Holman with damage.
Yeah, sounds like John Hunter Nemechek thought he was clear. His spotter said he was clear, and then I think Caleb Holman was there. There it is. You see John Hunter didn't quite have the 75 truck cleared. Moved up the racetrack, tried to move up against the outside wall. Caleb Holman was there. They made contact, and a lot of damage to that 8 truck of John Hunter, and some pretty good amount of damage to that 75 of Caleb Holman.
On board with Cole Custer.
Cole did a nice job avoiding that, but what a tough break for Caleb Holman, really, because John Hunter Nemechek didn't realize that there was a truck up there, and we heard the spotter say, I'm sorry about that, because he cleared him up there, and he wasn't clear.
Down on that inside line by Brandon Jones. He held up that whole lane, and look at him. We talked about how racy this short track is. About 3 wide on lap 1, turn 2.
I think I saw almost 4 wide at one point. You can get after it here at Iowa.
And why would you wait? You've got 250 laps. Why would you wait till lap 2 to get 3 wide?
Competition caution at lap 50 today, so these teams know they've got a good little bit here where they can go out and race each other. Track position being so big, you want to get all you can on a restart, or in this instance, the start of the race. And already a caution. No cars out of shape as we look around this 7th H Miles facility. Perhaps some debris somewhere. We'll await word from NASCAR.
A lot of wind blowing around today, so certainly could be some debris that is.
This kid is fast.
And let's don't forget now, not one lap in this car did he have prior to the start of the race. No trouble. Brennan Poole, who also went to the back of the pack, is out of shape.
Second caution of the day comes out 10 laps in.
And he's hit the wall with that 42 car down into turn 3. They were racing in a tight bundle back there. Let's see if we can take a look. Oh, wow.
He gets turned into the outside wall with contact. Absolutely not of his making at all.
What the heck was that all about?
Still there with Conley. Outside castle.
You don't think Yaley
did that on purpose, do you?
But he was out of shape, almost as if he was recovering from someone getting into him, talking about Yaley.
Well, that certainly looked suspicious.
We got damage right front.
Couple of cautions in the run, and it takes him all that time to regain it.
And that's interesting because that car had short run speed in qualifying. Got a car around on turn 3.
Sixth caution of the day.
Hard crash for 28.
That's J.J. Yaley.
Have an opinion what this might be. We'll have to look at the video.
15 laps down, but is back out and running. You're on board with him here.
The white 8 is slow ahead on the bottom.
It looked about like a replay of what the 28 did to the 42 earlier in the event.
Just in the opposite.
Yaley was running 15th when he got turned around, coming off a 4th place finish a couple of weeks ago at Talladega.
It's like in basketball when the guy with the retaliation gets the foul. Well, I think NASCAR is going to probably look at that, and they'll want to talk to Brennan Poole probably because of that retaliation, and that looks like it was. This is the one that happened earlier. You see Brennan on the inside, J.J. Yaley in the middle of the straightaway, moves to the left and just turns Brennan into the outside wall, and then we saw just a moment ago what happened. This is really what precipitated. This is that same incident there from the DC Solar onboard.
And then we felt, that looked uncalled for to us. We didn't see anything prior to that. Now, in Yaley's end. Oh, got a spinner. That's John West Townley off turn 2. Didn't make any contact. The caution's out. We pit, right, Bill? Pit.
Absolutely.
Tough break for Townley. He was the final car on the lead lap, running in the 16th position. But, you know what?
To John West. You see him, he was running up high, top of the racetrack. Looked like he got his right sides out of the black a little bit into that gray area. Some marbles up there and around. He did a nice job not making any contact with anything. But do we want to save some tires here for 30 or 40 laps to go, 50 laps to go in this race?
Well, we get another lap to think about it.
Of Eric Jones.
Eric wants that spot bad. He's faster than Bubba. He just can't pull the pass off.
And now we do have a car in the wall back straightaway. One spinning across the track. Caution. Chase Elliott was a half a lap away from seeing the white flag. And now we're going to get overtime in Iowa.
Well, I think Chase has to stay out. Yeah, you heard Ernie Cope tell him we're staying out.
He's on pit road. That's a top.
You're coming to the white right there.
Bam.
Pit road is closed.
Yeah, that's a top 5 car that came to pit road. So that's one less car you'll have to restart behind.
Side Ryan Reed, green flag back in the air. Look at Darrell Wallace Jr. fanning out of line. Chris Buescher inside of his teammate. Buescher going for the lead in turn 1.
Got a huge advantage on that inside. You see Ryan Reed in the middle of the racetrack blocking Eric Jones.
Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to get by Chase Elliott. Brian Scott making it 3 wide. He restarted in the 9th position.
Great restart for Brian Scott. Chase Elliott now fighting his way back. He's behind Eric Jones.
White flag is out. Next flag ends in at Iowa. Chris Buescher, about a half a mile away from his 2nd career win.
Ryan Blaney's hung up behind. He's not going to be able to use those 4 tires.
He got a win on the road course last summer at Mid-Ohio. He's impressed early in 2014. Here's his first win of the year. Chris Buescher, checkered flag, going to win it today at Iowa.
Woo! What a battle.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Nice job on pit road. Worked out perfect.
Yes, it did.
And a great effort by Chase Elliott on older tires.
Okay, then.
Don't let Verizon's pricing confuse you. Get all-in wireless from Sprint with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data, and even your pickup smartphone is included for just $80 a month, all in for one price.
Stay with us.
working our way towards the finish here. Less than 50 to go at Iowa.
You ever think about how the cement of your driveway connects to the ends of the earth?
Present wanted that.
No question about it, Ralph. One of them being Chris Buescher. The handling of his race car completely gone. This is just what the doctor ordered. A chance to come to pit lane. They made an air pressure adjustment on his race car. Also went down on the track bar. The car was way too loose. Chris Buescher and his crew.
Another night, a good solid night of possibly gaining a few more points on Chris Buescher.
There's that DC Solar onboard kit.
Oh,
trouble right there. You saw it. Elliott getting together with the 33. They can't break away from each other, and they bring out the caution once again here at Iowa Speedway. And the implications on the points now, Dale.
Yeah, even worse situation than what they were looking at with that happening. It happened right here in front of us. As they come off turn 4, you think that you've made enough of a run there, but the 9 car on the outside, you've always got to be mindful of that car. It's carrying more speed as it gets back to the throttle, and he missed his opportunity if he was going to make the slide job. He had him cleared at one point in time, but then the 9 had the momentum, and he would already covered that spot.
They were battling for 8th at the time.
Yeah, that's where he should have moved up when he had him cleared right at that point, but he gave the 9 the opportunity to be there, and it's not like him just to back out and let him come up.
Watch it from the onboard real time.
Yeah, things happen quickly.
You could hear Chase even getting out of the throttle too. He knew he was coming up on him.
Yeah, once he saw that he had that he was coming up there, he tried to get out, but it was already. Brendan Gaughan's car is really good on that high side. Going to make it awfully difficult. We got another caution though.
Caution is back out.
Car on the back stretch.
It's the 88. Ben Rhodes in the 88.
You kind of tell after that restart that it wasn't going to be our last. They were side by side, and
Elliott Sadler got into him.
Yeah, you know, you get in that position, your car will push a little bit up off that corner as you're trying to. Elliott looked like he was trying to make it 3 wide, but his car just pushed up, and there was a little bit of contact. Short track racing.
And Suarez still in the middle of this fight. He's got the 18 up in 7th right now.
All these drivers fighting for these spots. They mean a lot. Our points leader, Chris Buescher, is falling outside the top 10 or back to 10th now.
He restarted in 6th, back down to 10th. Oh, caution again. Problems here. That's Darrell Wallace. He was running in 11th. And guess what? They're going to get one more crack at him as Kenny Wallace slides to a stop. Right into the 60. Yeah, they've had issues before too, haven't they?
Yeah, that was in Dover, if you'll remember back to that race. So it was kind of reversed with that Chris Buescher was down on the inside. I'm sure that Darrell Wallace thought right there that he knew that he had a run to get to the bottom. Chris Buescher very fortunate to hang on to that race car. Didn't work out so well for Bubba Wallace here, though. Had another good, solid run going, even with that damage that he sustained earlier on.
And Buescher sitting there knowing that his #1 combatant in the title fight, Chase Elliott, was having a tough night. And guess what? Again to the bottom. Here comes Gaughan. How hard will he run him? There's contact. This time Gaughan gets loose and Blaney gets away. And around goes the 42. Oh, man.
Cautions breed cautions. We knew it's going to happen. Short track racing. Brendan Gaughan. He drove it down in. He tries to power up. He's pushing up into the 22, so he's having to turn the wheel a little bit more, stay in the gas, and the car back in just breaks loose. That kind of bottles things up here behind him then.
Man, Ryan Blaney just will not be denied tonight. Look at how he had the wheel turned on the 22, DJ. Foot to the floor and just driving through.
Yeah, he's just making them try to pass him there. And give Brendan Gaughan a lot of credit for trying and not wrecking him, not crashing. He did everything that he could there to try to make the win, but he didn't crash him. Unfortunately, Brendan pulled back there. Looked like maybe got tapped some in all of this happening. Looks like maybe Daniel Suarez and he had a little contact, but this is just everybody racing as hard as they possibly can.
And then Poole went up into Busher, and that's where that tire went down.
We said with this racetrack widening out and having these multiple grooves that it was going to make these restarts wide. 2.5 mile track at Pocono tomorrow doesn't have anything on this at all as we watch them fan out on restarts.
No, back at it again in Iowa. Good start for Blaney this time.
Regan Smith hanging right there, though, not going to give up on his opportunity.
Dillon coming through in the 3-car. He's trying to battle his way into 3rd. Elliott Sadler's had a rough day, but he's trying to get himself deeper into the top 10. Final lap here in Iowa.
Blaney's not going to have to go through another restart, but can he hold off the 7-car?
He's got smoke coming out of that 22. Is that tire rub? He was denied a win at Indy. Can he get to the checkers in Iowa? Here he comes with smoke pouring out of the 22. He wins it at Iowa Speedway.
Man, I appreciate it. Greg, you did an amazing job with this car, man. Holy crap. Amazing improvement on the first race. Really proud of you guys.
3rd career win in his 37 start. His last victory coming at Bristol. Oh, and look at this. Things heating up down here on the front straightaway. Ross Chastain being told, not so happy with the way you drove.
Ryan Reed ended up in the wall in turns 3 and 4 on that last lap. So a little disagreement about what happened and how they got there.
Here's Bubba Wallace talking things over with the 60. They've had their issues. Let's go to Jim with Regan.
7th position.
Looks like they'll be talking about that in a morning meeting soon.
Yeah, I'd like to be in there and listen to what's going on there. But great short track racing, and these are the kind of things that happen.
Emotions boiling over, and so are radiators down there, Jim.
You can say that, Ralph, and I tell you.
They come to pit road. Let's crank it up and watch the pit crews go to work here at Iowa.
I see you. Start looking left. Hold away. So he's coming to your right side. And away. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, right there.
Yeah, 93 laps now. He's been trouble. Casgarala into the outside wall, along with Rico Abreu in the 98.
Gralla on the outside, the 24. Rico in the 98, and they are both under power, which is a good sign. Right here, just on the front stretch, just before the start-finish line, and a lot of debris coming off that 24 truck.
Just gets loose down on that bottom. It had the truck turning well, which is a key to success. Oh, look at Peters. What a great job, huh?
They made contact, but Timothy was able to maintain control.
Watch it from Peters' viewpoint.
This is as good as it gets right here.
It's going to be scary here.
5 minutes. Keep it high.
He gave them all the room he could possibly give them.
And you can see Rico, he just saw the crash ahead, tried to turn to the bottom. That tells you how loose these trucks can get. If you've got to make a quick move, you got to get away from you in a hurry.
There's the rear end damage on that 24 GMS machine. And the left rear down on the 17 truck of Timothy Peters as well. Caution on the racetrack with 22 laps to go. Tommy Joe Martins and Derek Scott Jr. both laps down.
A lot of damage to that Diamond Gusset Jean Chevrolet for Tommy Joe Martins. A lot of fluid down on the racetrack as well.
Significant contact here, and Tommy Joe Martins obviously upset. It's a very small budget team, and the last thing they needed was to damage their racetrack.
You can tell here. Looks like he just drives into the corner really deep and
just runs in the back of him.
Martins didn't expect that for sure. And
Jordan Anderson's on.
63. Got one spinning at the top, spinning at the very top. Bottom, bottom, bottom. You're good, you're good.
So it looked like the 0-2 of Derek Scott just got into the back of Martins.
Nothing Tommy could do at that point.
Martins, you can see the frustration and the damage. Not the way he wanted his night to end.
Jordan Anderson will get
early on. Parker Kligerman gets run into by Austin Wayne. Self cuts down his left rear tire. Hard contact with a safer barrier for the 92 truck of Parker Kligerman.
More contact, Timothy Peters and the 24 of Kaz Gralla.
Caution is out.
Oh, heavy damage for Caleb Holman in the 75 Food Country truck. And guys, we're going to have another restart.
Action had to pick up.
Yeah, you have to believe that we had contact, just like we saw earlier. Yeah, he's going to point at somebody.
22 it looked like, maybe.
Maybe the 22 of Austin Wayne.
So it does.
A great corner by William Byron.
Rhodes trying to get inside of Haley for third, but William Byron jumping out. The white flag for William Byron. Custer chasing him. Can he make up the ground?
Love what Cole Custer did there. He said, give me something. Let me just try something.
You got to try something. Can't just follow in his tire tracks.
2 turns to go for the 18-year-old William Byron. In just his 9th career start, he's going to win for the 3rd time. William Byron wins at Iowa. He's in victory lane, and Caitlin is there.
3 wins for William Byron in the series, and back-to-back wins. At that, a big celebration down here in victory lane. William, what is it about yourself and this group of guys behind you that has enabled you to put down those kind of numbers so early in this season?
My gosh, it's awesome just to be part of Kyle Busch Motorsports and have the group of guys I do, to have Liberty University support and have Toyotas under us. It's amazing. I mean, I'm so fortunate to be in this position. You know, we had a couple setbacks there. I stalled it on pit road and had a few setbacks on some restarts, but we kept after it until that last restart. It's awesome.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
What a special night tonight here at Iowa Speedway as William Byron wins his 3rd race in just 9 NASCAR Truck Series starts.
Line when you talk about drivers 1 lap down as he tries to get up there in the free pass position, and here we are exiting pit road, really tight there for Allgaier and Hornish. A little contact between those two.
Well, I think that was just a situation there where Hornish adjusted his pit road speed.
Back at Iowa under caution for the 2nd time today, Ryan Preece had an issue in turn 4. There you see the damage. Now we take a look at what happened.
Yeah, you look up at the top of the screen. It looked like he just blew a right front tire exiting turn 4. You can see there the red car. Normal exit to the turn and look late, just abruptly into the outside wall. And he's having a good run. He was on the lead lap in the 21st position, just behind his teammate Ross Chastain, who's charged from the back like Brendan Gaughan and some of the other guys we've talked about. So it was a good run, unfortunately.
The trends of the race and the trends here in recent years, and now we got problems on the track. You just said we don't need a caution, and right on cue, there goes Blake Cook bringing out the yellow flag for the 4th time today.
So that's good. Oh, he's going to try to cut low because Bubba Wallace was struggling up high, and Brendan Gaughan was right there. Turned the 11 car around.
How lucky is he there was no damage? A lot of cars in and around Cook when he went sideways. And they cut the grass short, which means it didn't grab that splitter when he went sliding through the infield.
Yeah, that's very fortunate.
Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of grass, but if you have to have it, cut it short.
Caution. There it goes. J.J. Yaley.
That was contact between the 24 of Drew Herring. Those two, we've been watching that pack, Adam. They have absolutely been 3-4 wide, and it looked like maybe Yaley tried to come up and Herring was there, but I think these guys are frustrated with one another. Yaley tries to just go into a place that wasn't there.
Yeah, there was not a thing Drew Herring in that 24 could do there.
And he decides he better just finish him off after that. You know, somebody cut you off, you need to get him.
He could have done something there.
At that point, he got an option, and he opted to let him know that he didn't appreciate being cut off.
Yaley was 12th. Herring now occupies that position. First car 1 lap down. Jeremy Clements, he's 16th. Gets the free pass back on the lead lap. 5th caution of the day. 57 laps to go. 32 laps to go at Iowa, under caution for the 6th time. Drew Herring, turn coming down the front straightaway. Last 20 laps haven't been real good for the driver out of North Carolina.
Well, this is his teammate, Dakota Armstrong, in the 28, and just drives right up into the left rear of Drew Herring and spins him out. So this ought to be an interesting competition meeting early part of the week.
Makes you wonder if anything happened prior to that, because it looked pretty obvious that he just got spun around.
Brendan Gaughan was the first car 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass, put him back on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap for last 30 laps or so, and here we are. Darrell Wallace Jr., Brennan Poole both have an additional set of tires. The white flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Well, that's a good feeling right there. Got a empty rear view mirror and just less than a half mile to go.
Hadn't raced in 210 days. Got called off the bench on Monday. He'd been teaching school. Today he's going to take him to school. Sam Hornish Jr. going to get the victory here at Iowa. Some short tracks they've struggled. Brad a top 5 run today, but this afternoon all about Sam Hornish Jr. He's in victory lane, Chris.
And Adam, this 18 car so strong this year. Kyle Busch racking up 4 wins. Denny Hamlin getting the win in Charlotte. And Sam Hornish Jr. getting the win in
Truck Series debut.
He was down on the flat. Maybe had just come from pit road and trying to get a little bit too much speed going before he got on the bank.
Stage as you ride on board. How about this great bumper shot from John Hunter Nemechek getting around the 4 of Bell.
Yeah, Rudy's truck here with Christopher Bell driving. Tires cooled off a little bit. He had about 2 good laps in him after this restart. Oh, trouble.
Austin Wayne Self in the 45 and Kaz Grala in the 33.
Oh, and also big spin on the back straightaway. There you see the key close Chevy of Kaz Grala.
Kaz made some contact with the inside wall.
And look,
Ben Rhodes. It is Ben Rhodes.
Down into turn 3, he went spinning.
The toe is way off.
Well, you heard Rhodes say,
we're done.
Oh, bad news for Ben Rhodes in that 27.
Sometimes
the tires are flat.
Attempt, and Kaz Grala moved up into the 13 of Coughlin, made a little bit of contact with the inside wall. Nice job, Austin Self, getting his way through that.
It's a battle for 13th, 14th, 15th, right around in that area. As you see, the 13 got his nose in there, and the 33 went up, and 13 was able to back out of it. But the 33 made contact with Rhodes.
Yeah, it's a situation I don't think that the 33 of Kaz Grala realized that they were 3 wide there.
Look how long Rhodes battled that 27 truck as he went down into turn 3 and finally lost control.
We're going to ride along with him right here.
There in front of you has no taper tires last time. Inside 3 wide here for a little bit. Here, hold on to it. Hold on to it. Keep coming here. Keep coming. Hold the brake here. Hold the brake. Hold the brake. Hold the brake.
Yeah, pretty good look against the outside wall.
Pretty heavy.
Around when he came off the corner, he's driving away from Sauter, but he hasn't backed out of it at all.
Oh! Matt Crafton hardened the outside wall.
That's going to bring out the caution. Crafton. Well, that was a big hit for Matt Crafton with 15 to go, and now everybody's going to come to pit lane, right?
I want tires, Mike.
Me too, Phil. You're going to get on our
You
pace
changed
now.
your mind?
Well, you didn't want me to, but I want them.
Ben, it's a tough decision for Buddy Cisco. How about how fast that 29 truck was, though, in those last 5 or 6 laps? This is the last thing Cisco Briscoe wanted to see.
You see Matt Crafton putting that window net down.
That's a pretty hard hit to the outside wall. You see some damage on his teammate Grant Enfinger's truck, the 98.
Is that a couple of teammates getting together there?
Sure has a look at that. See Matt, there's the 98. He was running the high groove, goes by the 99 of Brandon Jones. Get down in the corner here. Oh. Wow. Yeah, Grant made the move to the inside. He really closed on Matt really quickly, and don't know if Matt had some sort of an issue or not, but we saw him close up 3 or 4 truck lengths in the matter of a half a straightaway.
Yeah, I think Enfinger just got such a tremendous run off the corner. He closed in on Crafton. Crafton probably heard via the spotter that Enfinger was running high and didn't think he would.
Flag. Nemechek took the 4 tires on the last pit stop, and he has made it work. John Hunter Nemechek a half a lap away from going back to back. He was so strong a year ago, but he couldn't finish the job. But tonight he has done it. John Hunter Nemechek wins at Iowa. Big crash off of turn 4. The 24 of Haley and the 51 of Harrison Burton involved in inside of that 51, and Justin Haley. Burton got a little bit loose.
Just dove in there and last lap, last corner, thought he could make maybe a dive into turn 3 and gain the advantage. It didn't work out. Hard contact by both those trucks.
That was a battle for the top 5 position. Grant Enfinger, we saw him go by after they got together, and he finished in the 4th spot.
What a thriller. Last week he passed with 6 laps to go. Tonight he passes with 6 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek wins at Iowa. Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
For this morning, and now the 2 are leading this race as we have our first caution of the night. It's the 90 of Dexter Bean. Showed some speed early in qualifying, and he will bring out the yellow flag just shy of halfway in stage 1. And you got 3 sets of tires in the pits. I'm guessing you just have to stay out here and maintain track position. You guys agree?
I don't think you can afford to put the tires on this early. Maybe with a handful of laps to go in that stage, you might want to do that and gamble and put them on.
And Bean spin into turn 1.
Got a little bit tight when he was racing with
I go.
Car up there, lost a little bit of air off that rear spool, and around he went. Sam did a nice job. Spotter did a nice job as well, directing Sam around that.
And that's something that we need to talk about. Also, we have different spotters for a lot of these guys that they maybe aren't accustomed to with all the Cup guys being in Sonoma this weekend. So a little bit of an adjustment phase for the drivers, especially rookie drivers who are maybe just getting used to a spotter now.
As in our 13 races.
I haven't mentioned his name in a while, but the 2 car of Ben Kennedy is inside the top 10. He is 9th as we get a caution, and it's Sam Hornets Jr., who was inside the top 5 and won this race 1 year ago, was scored in the 3rd position when he got it turned around and hit the wall.
Tough break for Sam. We see Bell use that top side to get a nice run down into turn 1, carrying a lot of momentum.
Inside.
A little tough to tell. It looks like Bell maybe just slipped up the racetrack just a little bit and possibly cut Sam's left rear in the process of it.
It sounded like the tire was down before he made contact with the outside safer barrier. You could hear that flapping already before he even hit the outside wall.
Yeah, that flapping's a tire down, but I think he had contact to cut that tire.
That's what I mean, before he hit the wall, yeah. You could see Christopher Bell was right next to him, so there had to be a little bit of contact there. And you could tell from the seams in the racetrack that Sam did not move move down into Christopher Bell.
Yeah, Sam was holding his line right there. I'd have to think that Bell maybe just slid it tonight. That may pay off for him.
Whoa!
And as we talk about him, he loses it going into 3 here.
Hold on to it.
the classic jinx and contact with Ty Majeski, who's making his first career start tonight. And for the Kyle Benjamin fans,
right front damage coming this time.
a sincere apology, because we absolutely talked him into that spin.
Just a tough break for both himself and Ty Majeski.
For a stage win, let's go back and look at the reason for caution number 4.
You think maybe he entered the corner a little bit higher than he had been?
He was flirting with the edge of where the debris is on the racetrack right there. When he got sideways, we see all that smoke and all that dust coming off of the race car. Nobody had been up to where they were 3 or 4 inches off of the wall yet. He may have just slipped that right rear a little bit into those marbles, and it jumped out from underneath him. But then again, watching that groove there, it looks like that thing was loose really early in the corner. I think he just got loose entering, and it ultimately collected him up into the fence.
Yeah, I really hated for Majeski too, because he came along with nowhere to go, having a solid run tonight.
I think all of us in NASCAR circles love stage racing because of the strategy. When we go green, the top 9 drivers will have stayed out under this caution. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout to end stage 2. Front row to Brendan Gaughan. He stays out and takes the outside lane. Inside of him is Ryan. Caution. I told you it was Ty Majeski. You saw him on pit road there. Got into the wall up in turn 2.
Yeah, probably had a tire rub resulting from that damage he had earlier. They are trying to pick his car up on pit road right now. There's a tail end of it as well. So the pit road remains closed. Every one of these laps that they ride around on the caution is going to help these guys get close, holding down that 10th spot right now. Goes to the outside. It's hard to get to the outside of Brendan Gaughan. Didn't quite make it.
You're flirting with disaster when you get up to the outside of Brendan Gaughan.
Caution out. 7th time tonight. There it is. Spencer Gallagher. I got Kyle Benjamin. You got Spencer Gallagher. I was talking about how great Benjamin was doing. Regan added his thoughts. He spins and ends his night for the most part. And here's Gallagher.
Well, we can't go to the rest of the show without talking about anybody.
Dexter Bean also with some damage to play here. We'll get to that in a moment. First, the replay of caution number 7.
Looks like Spencer just lost it on his own up on the top side there. Maybe jumped the cushion just a little bit, possibly.
I don't know. Looked like maybe the 16 of Ryan Reed was in the proximity with a 23 car. Couldn't tell if there was any contact or not.
Well, I swore there was 10th. And Brendan Gaughan on pit road as well, Herm.
Slow on the left side. They had great strategy and really improved their race car, but that was a slow stop for the 62. The left front tire changer had an issue. Caution's out.
And there goes Ryan Reed spinning to bring out the caution for the 8th time tonight. It happened right.
48 made contact with the 16 of Reed, then the 48 came away from the 16, caught Christopher Bell in that right rear corner.
Such a tough break for Christopher Bell. He was definitely an innocent bystander on that one. You see the 48 get just a little bit loose. Probably didn't know that the 16 was coming with that much of a run to the outside of him right there.
You know, a decent amount of damage for Ryan Reed, but a great save. And as we look at the scoreboard here, he's still on the lead lap in 7th. We know he's got a set of tires. This is on board with Brennan Poole.
Inside 20, inside 4. Watch out.
Amazing job by Ross Chastain, the 4, to avoid that.
From Sieg, 17 remaining.
Ryan Sieg doing an awesome job. 16's in the wall. That's going to bring out a caution.
Justin Allgaier, 19th.
The right front.
Allgaier, 19th. First car, 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass.
We heard Ryan Reed say something broke in the right front. Looks like he's got a left front problem as well right now.
So now if you're Dylan Lupton.
Pretty sure we're done here.
You're Dylan.
Ryan Reed say something broke in the right front. You can tell right there was some sort of an issue, either with the right front or the left front. The left front is flat now.
I have to believe maybe it was the left front. He just misdiagnosed it a little bit right there with that tire being flat like it was. Possibly a little contact. We saw a lot of beating and banging, as we talked about earlier in the night. That can knock the valve stem off and result in that.
And he was involved in that incident too that brought out the previous caution.
This time, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Right now, he just needs to get this race car back around. He's so nervous. He knows how close he is to his first win at this moment.
Halfway down the back straightaway for William Byron. 1 week ago, had his heart broken at Michigan. Tonight, it's going to be all about a celebration. Career win number 1 for William Byron comes at Iowa.
You are awesome.
Good position they were in, and then he messed up on pit road. And two into pit. Oh, there's a wreck.
Trouble in turn 4. It is the 4 of Ross Chastain, Parker. Sorry to interrupt. He got around and spun, and I don't believe collected anybody.
I think he's got a flat left rear, and maybe that's why he spun, but the thing just looped around a slow looping turn.
And coming to a stop, and it looks like no harm, no foul, KP.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Like I said, as he turned down in the center of the corner, it was a slow loop around, and I do believe he has a flat left rear. Yeah, we see the left rear right there.
Yep, lap at the Iowa Speedway. And caution is out. Problem for the 23 of Spencer Gallagher. Looks like that right front is down, Kyle.
Yeah,
and he's hit the wall.
Yeah, and have not seen it. Don't know what come first.
That's right.
Which come first, whether it was into the wall or whether he cut a tire and got into the outside wall. But pretty heavy contact as you see the right front towed way out and flat.
Spencer was having a good day.
Yes,
qualified 12th and was running in the 15th position when this happened. Look at the right of your screen. And just
yeah, he cut a tire. Yep. You see the thing just turn right all of a sudden, right in the middle of the corner. This is where the car, you're on that right front going in, you're dragging the brake a little bit, floating it off into the corner, and the right front just goes down and he turns dead right into the outside wall. And he was having a good day. I thought he had just...
And it's the 22 of Sam Hornish Jr. hard into the wall and now down across the front straightaway and into the grass toward the pit lane. There's a wall between him and the pit lane. He doesn't get across there, but that's hard impact for Sam Hornish.
Wow. Hard hit for Sam Hornish there. Hard hit. As he got to the center of the corner, right as he starts up off the corner, I just happened to be looking. Sorry, I was speaking of something that was going on the racetrack and not on our monitors for everybody at home to see. But I'm telling you, hard hit in the outside wall. But let's go back to Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, but he's 2 laps down.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, a lap or two later, yes, if you had stretched it,
yes,
what could you have done? What would be going on right?
Way in the distance, top of your screen.
Right there. You see it turn right and go straight into the outside wall. You see the sparks. It's down on the racetrack. And we saw that earlier. But just a cut right front. What's right here?
Brennan Poole's on board. There goes Sam.
Good job by this group of guys right here, just avoiding that.
Allgaier among them, by the way. Justin scoots through. Sam's car now resting on the infield grass there. There's Justin Allgaier in the 7 car, still 2 laps off the pace. The strategy gamble did not pay off. But the yellow is out. And that's going to be good news for Harrison Rhodes, who will get the free pass. His teammate Garrett Smithley has had
this thing.
Cole Custer's car not where he wants it to be. He's back to 6th place now. Matt Tift has problems right in front of him. The 19 car spins. Caution is out. Contact behind him. Dylan Lupton involved, and Tift is nudged. That's a 60 of Ty Majeski.
I think Ty was trying to slow down and just got into the 24 car.
So with 3 laps now, place being contested by Tift on the inside.
And we see as the 48 of Brendan Poole goes in, he cuts in a little bit. The 19 comes up. They just get together, and it kind of takes the air off of him. He spins around here, slow spin. We've seen a couple of slow spins today. From the other side, you see the 24 going up the racetrack that's been hit by the 60 car here of Ty Majeski, just trying to avoid the accident. Nothing these guys could do.
Cole Custer had a good look at it.
And you hear Cole Custer downshift into 3rd and then drive away.
This is on board with Poole.
Yeah, Brendan did a good job of just waiting, and then accelerating away from it. And I thought Matt Tiff had that thing saved for a minute.
He rode it for a while, and there's Ty Majeski getting loose, and then tapping Dylan Lupton and ending. Who will have it at the stripe? Priest will have it. White flag is out. 1 lap remaining in Iowa.
I'm going to tell you, Ryan Priest and Kyle Benjamin have put on an exhibition here of how 2 young drivers should race each other. This is phenomenal. Benjamin got a great restart. Ryan Priest fired off perfect. Great run by these guys.
Ryan Priest said, fate will tell me if I meant to do this at a bigger level. Fate has decided. Benjamin gave it a shot coming to the line, but Preece was the best of them all this afternoon.
Drivers, start your engines!
Adapted. His only experience was on dirt as he makes his way. Ooh, somebody in the outside wall.
Caution is out, and
that's
that
the
is
four.
The
Todd Gilliland.
Todd Gilliland.
I think maybe a right front tire went down on that truck, Mike, or did he get loosened?
It looks like it possibly hit with the right rear first.
Get in, and it's going to be another opportunity lost today.
It looked like the right side tires were up on that truck, didn't it, Michael?
Yeah, going to make it work.
Oh, and there's another KBM truck, and this one's Christian Eckes making his Truck Series debut tonight.
Left front tire is down on that truck. Looks like that may be Austin Hill. It is Austin Hill. See some damage to the right side.
Grant
Enfinger also.
Second yellow early on. Look at the 2 of Cody Coughlin as he get.
Oh, he gets squeezed.
Squeezed a little bit by the 46 of Eckes. He had the 13 of Mike Snyder. Oh. Ooh, did you see Ben Rhodes go through there?
But he got some damage too, Phil.
Let's ride with Ben Rhodes. This is going to scare me, Michael. Oh. Yeah, he just got clipped as he went through there. He jumped in the throttle to try to squeeze through.
Freezing off, and it lost all their momentum, and here comes the world. How about this?
Oh! Big contact. Nemechek, Crafton, Rhodes, Friesen. Serious contenders for the win. And that changes everything.
You can see right there, he got tangled up with Friesen. That opened the door for Crafton and Sauter. And here comes John Hunter Nemechek. Friesen dives to the middle.
Looks like Matt maybe got a little bit tight, lost the front end a little bit.
Oh, and Dalton Sargent too with some damage.
Did Crafton's left front go down? It looked like, I mean, it seemed like he shot up the track.
Remember, it was rubbing.
I mean, look how far up the track I think he had a problem.
I think he may have had that left front tire going down.
I mean, look, I think he did because.
Well, we saw the rub, so that wouldn't be out of the question. And he definitely moved up and caught and started that crash with the move up the track.
But as you mentioned, Michael, it started when Ben Rhodes did the slide job on Stuart Friesen and pulled up in front of him, but they lost all the momentum. And here all those guys are going by because of the lost momentum.
Man, and when you're in that position, Phil, you know this. You have no idea your world's getting ready to come to an end. You're just focused out the front windshield, thinking you made a nice move, and watch what happens to Stuart Friesen.
See how quickly he reacted when he got caught in the left rear. Immediately turned the steering wheel trying to save that truck.
I think that left front went down.
I think Johnny saw it.
There it is.
Down.
There it
You're
is.
Exactly right.
Great camera work by our Fox Sports crew. That showed the left front down, and that's why Johnny Sauter couldn't make it.
Oh, what a special night for Brett Moffitt if he can hold off Gregson. Gregson dives down for the lead, tries to pass into the wall. It's not going to work, and Moffitt has done it in front of the hometown fans.
You just wanted your hometown, baby.
Oh,
good work. Unbelievable, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody involved, everybody that came out here and supported this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Head of Grower Commercial Operations at Enogen, Chris Tingle, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
How Sadler's moving around early. We've seen him down low. We've seen him in the middle of the racetrack. Tire down for the 0 of Garrett Smithley. First caution of the afternoon, left front. He also got into the safer barrier, it looked like.
Makes you wonder how the tire went flat. But there it goes.
These are the same tires that these drivers qualified on earlier today. Allgaier, can he get the top spot? And there's a caution. 52 to go, and problems for the 40 of Chad Fincham, who hits the wall. It's our 4th yellow flag of the afternoon. Stops of the afternoon as we check in on what happened with Fincham top green.
See all that debris flying up. NASCAR elected to err on the side of safety and throw the caution flag.
There's the 10, Juanma Gonzalez coming to pit road. Obvious issues there on the right front. They'll address that. We'll go to commercial break.
Run him down. This could be a game changer.
Oh, and the caution is out, and it's Gonzalez again for the second time in the 10.
I think this opens us up for some strategy here. The guys that aren't that worried about stage points. I think even if you want stage points with only 17 trucks right now on the lead lap, I think you can come and get tires.
Austin Hill in the seat.
I think
that later in the summer. Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh, and there is Sauter. So we just saw Sauter move the 16 of Austin Hill.
I would guess that there probably was some contact that precipitated this.
A payback, possibly. Well, let's see. We saw Sauter move Hill. Hill repaying the favor and put Sauter in the wall.
Yeah, there's no question that I'm sure Austin Hill didn't like the way that that he got sent down into turn number 1. And this is live.
This is live, so Sauter has just now wrecked Austin Hill. Well, that's not going to go over well.
No, I think they'll be for that.
Yes, indeed. So here is Sauter coming back to get Hill after Hill had moved Johnny and put Johnny into the wall.
I think
Johnny Sauter's day is done. Yes, he is being sent to the garage. Now, here's where it began as far as our knowledge is concerned. Maybe something has happened before leading up to this, but that's Sauter moving Austin Hill. And then just a couple of laps later, Hill comes back, and it's not such a gentle touch to the left rear of Sauter and puts Johnny into the wall. Sauter obviously very upset. And then
round 3.
Yep. And Sauter chases Hill back down under caution.
What about Hill? He's running from him. He got on the gas when he saw Johnny Sauter coming, and Johnny just was relentless in his pursuit.
Michael, when you go
truck and holding his own here, only his 2nd career start in trouble. 2nd caution of the day. That's local driver Joey Gase who's into the wall.
Man, a home game is so special. You talked about Mike Lynette.
Well, there's a chance that we could see some guys pitting, and here's another look at what happened to that 35. Vinnie Miller there as well in the 78.
Yeah, some hard contact for Vinnie Miller as well.
Out of the track, Shane Van Gisbergen. And looking at the right rear quarter panel, I think there was some contact. You see the damage on the right rear tail from the 97.
Well, this is what we talked about, right? Is this 50-minute practice is beneficial to him to go out and try to find the edge. Unfortunately, he went over the edge. We assume could have been a multi-car accident. We don't know. He said, "I'm sorry." So, this is part of the learning process. And, this is racing, man. 2 wins in a row, back-to-back on road courses, now to an oval. This is a humbling sport. It just when you think you got it figured out, something like this will happen. See, here he is all by himself, out of the groove, just up a little bit too high. And that's what everyone's concerned about. See everybody behind him, how much lower they are? He's just pushing a little bit too hard, got out of the groove, and just the grip's not there.
Is that backup? Is he going to have to go to a backup car there? It was a pretty good slap of the wall there. Yeah, I believe that's a backup. There's significant body damage. Maybe you can make that repair for a short track. My bigger concern is we look at both right rear wheels. You kind of see that white dust where the wheel itself actually hit the safer barrier. And I would imagine, upper control arm points or the track bar in the back, there definitely could be some chassis damage.
But Steve, when you bring in an SPG or you bring in somebody like that, this is part of it. Right? I mean, you know it going in. Justin Marks is a big believer in his driving talent. And he knows that these days are going to happen. And it's just part of the investment you have to be willing to make in developing a driver. It's just part of it. And what you want from your driver is to say, okay, you don't want it to hurt your confidence. You just want him to say, okay, what did I learn? And that's not right now. A lot of times you learn over time, and things start feeling natural to you and normal to you. But
57 to his 51. Gotcha. Hang on, stay up here. Got one more.
Super fortunate to happen.
Ease it up. There's nothing
Middle
else
of the
out back.
straightaway.
You can just ease on across the track.
Yeah, Steve, great point. You know, there's some things in racing that go your way and some things don't. And in that case, that tire and Ty feeling it down the back straightaway.
Got the wall, guys.
He was coming to pit road that lap. They said run the entire length of pit road. He was getting ready to make a run down pit road. Tire blows. That is a half a corner away, Steve, from not having this wreck. He was actually coming to pit road.
So if he was coming to pit road, he was going very fast right there. Could this be a brake issue?
No, I think, well, I don't think so. I think the right front tire goes flat. Watch the splitter. Yeah. I don't see anything come through the hood like a brake rotor would come through the hood if it exploded. And they're not using really any brake on the racetrack. When we were on board with him, it was barely any brake pressure. This is the one of Chastain, that green with the white tail. Big wiggle, big loose into the corner.
Well, Phil Surgeon, this is what a dolly looks like. Lifts on top of the dolly for the rear tires, and they are going to pull that back into the garage. But this is what has taken probably 10 to 15 minutes to get this car off of the racetrack.
Oh, as we see, Ross Chastain has spun around coming to pit road.
We talked about the challenges of pit road during Xfinity practice. We saw some Xfinity drivers trying to get to pit road. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, he's just trying to smoke it in there, trying to learn how much pace he can make. And this pit road comes up quickly. There.
Sorry, Jeff. Had a car hit the wall out of turn 4. That's A.J. Allmendinger in the 16, who now is in the infield.
That looked a lot like a right front went down. I just caught the... Yeah, that car just will not turn. He's gassed up right there, going hard off the corner, and tire lets go. There's nothing you can do as a driver from that point. Hang on, and hopefully it doesn't hurt.
So the question now is, what do you do as a team and a driver to fix this problem, you know, and you're limited on the number of sets of tires.
Over second place Sheldon Creed as the cautions come out. And up into the wall or near the wall, Jeb Burton in the 27. And a right front down for Burton. Doesn't look like any contact to the wall, so maybe he caught it quick enough. He was running 14th.
Do the blow right front, bud.
No, there's been some contact.
Yeah, it is.
Tires.
So Jeb's on the straight, and it blows right there, and that's, you know, look, it's never a good time to blow a right front, but if you're going to blow one, that's where you want to blow it, because you're already against the wall. You can't turn the car. The car just quits turning, and he was, fortunately for him, he was already against it. Still damaged the car for sure, but from the impact for the driver, that's much better. 4 or 5 spots because you don't get a good restart, and you have to go earn them back. Well, then you're hard on the tires then too. So I think you try to save some tire when you can. Oh.
And back up into the wall, the 97. And so Shane Van Gisbergen learning. That's a backup car, trying to continue to learn in the Xfinity Series.
Accident. It just gets around on him.
Then when he went to catch it, he caught the 29 as well. So Blaine Perkins, wrong place at the wrong time.
And this is hard on your confidence. I don't care how many races you've won doing other things. Big hit there for the 29. You mentioned it. It's still hard on your confidence. And it's when you make these mistakes, make them 2 days in a row, you're trying to learn. You got to find a way to learn from it and move on, but it is very difficult.
And there's a spotlight shining down on Shane Van Gisbergen because of what he did a year ago at Chicago in the Cup Series. His very first start, he went out and won that race. He's won 2 Xfinity Series races already on road courses. So much talent behind the wheel, but this is foreign to him. The short tracks, the ovals, things just aren't the same as what he grew up and has done most of his life. This was yesterday in practice that sent him to.
Yeah, he had a little issue right there getting into the corner. We have a caution.
0-7 around, and Patrick Emmerling brings out this caution. Fourth caution of the day. And you heard him say, fire it up. And the final lap as the 81 has gone, and we see the two of Love into the wall now.
Blew a right front tire. He talked about having a vibration prior to this restart. They were afraid to pit because they were going to run out of tires. And he was pushing hard, and he blew a right front tire right in the middle of 3 and 4.
So Chandler Smith is going to get the win. You see the pressure being put on there by the 10, but it was the two of Jesse Love, the right front going down and into the wall. He goes hard. Coming up next on you.
It's just such a hard hit. DJ and I were both grimacing over here.
There was a cringe.
Well, we both limp and all kinds of stuff because of days like that.
Yeah, it reminds you, these 3,500 plus pound cars.
There's no way you could expect that you're going to have a problem that early.
Corey Heim find a little more grip as the 20 is into the wall. John Hunter Nemechek, we had seen some smoke coming out of the left front. It looks as though the right front is down as well, and the caution comes out. He was running 11.
Well, Riley Hurts went from not wanting to see this to happen to being glad it happened. Because now he's got to put the left front fender onto the left front tire. We saw it smoking.
Tire gave out and into the wall for John Hunter Nemechek. Both front tires down for the driver of the 20. Sliding up the racetrack is Creed. Mayer is going to clear Herbst as they come out of 2. Does Heim have enough time? Coming to the white flag. One more time around. Sam Mayer in the middle of the track. Riley Herbst. One final try as they come through 3 and 4. Out of 4. Sam Mayer is going to win in Iowa.
Nice work. Nice job, fellas. Oh, we won, baby. Wow, thank you guys so much. Unbelievable. Thank you guys.
You can already see how rough the racetrack is. 4 car, Barry got really loose on the exit of 2.
This is when it really gets challenging. 3 wide. There's really only 2 lanes of fresh pavement. So now with the 24 stuck in the middle, when we get to the bottom down here, can the 11 find that fresh pavement? He will. The 24 will lift and let the 11 in line.
3 wide behind him, though, for position.
Yeah, Brad is really struggling. Oh, Corey LaJoie has gone around.
He spins on lap 3. So Corey looked.
Wow. The 71, Zane Smith, looked like he was really loose on corner entry. The 7 was above him.
I think it was a 3-car, all-Spire car involved incident. The 77 got loose, caught the 71, who got the 7. That is not what the Spire Motorsports organization wants to see. It's nerve-wracking enough with all 3 cars on the racetrack.
See a battle for the lead going back a few laps ago. 5 trying to just use all the racetrack, and Blaney was there. That's what we.
And the 16 gets into the wall in turn 2, bringing out the caution for the second time.
Now, is this a tire failure for A.J. Allmendinger?
Well, there's contact and a flat right front. We'll have to see which came first, the tire or the contact. Second day in a row. Big hit yesterday for A.J. and
the racetrack, and you know, fortunately it failed where it did. It didn't fail in the middle of the corner, so it wasn't as big of an impact.
So let's just talk a little bit. Yesterday the tires were kind of getting too hot, blistering, shaking, vibrating. What's happening here is because there's so much load, it's really called a belt failure. What that basically means is the tire has
contact, and around goes the 10 of Noah Gregson and keeps it straight, but the caution does come out.
Yeah, I would listen into the 10 radio here, but I'm not sure it'd be frustration. Look at John Hunter. They're already 2 lanes down. Now 10 does block, but then the 42 kind of enters so low and so shallow. He doesn't mean to get into him. He's loose. The 42's loose, but he still was the aggressor and caused the accident.
They were fighting for the 21st position.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you come off, you know, you get a run on somebody and they just block you that badly down the back straightaway, and John Hunter's just like, hey, I'm gonna ship it in here, you know, and this is the end result.
I could see that. To your point, if the 10 doesn't move down, then the 42 gets to his inside and he's kind of in a...
To pit road.
He's running in 8th position, so had a good race car, but tire went down. Fortunately, not big contact. Just a little scuff. See, the right front's down. He's already up the racetrack, out of the groove. Makes contact.
Bounces off and keeps going.
Yeah, you know, look, they've not thrown the caution for that through this entire cycle, but for some reason they did on that one.
Kyle Busch, Bell, Logano, Bowman, Briscoe, Gibbs, Chastain, all a lap down. Reddick, LaJoie, Dillon. They're going to be frustrated by this caution.
I believe Busch is going to get the free pass.
We'll also have
leading the field back to the green flag. Final stage underway, 132 laps to go in this race.
Big wiggle out of the 17. He collected it 3 wide behind him.
Comes Josh Berry on the inside in the 4. Keselowski's dropped all the way back to 4th after being on the front row.
And Buescher staying out, trapped a lot of cars, still 1 lap down, so only 19 cars in the lead lap.
Big contact, the 5 into the wall, and around he goes. Got collected with the 11, and the caution comes back out. Aggressive racing there coming off of 4.
We're too bad.
Suarez hit him on the right rear.
Like the
left
99,
rear.
Yeah, 99 car right there. Gets up the racetrack. Gets into the left rear of the 5, and then he's just out of control along for the ride. Denny Hamlin, wrong place. See the 9, you saw it wiggle? He got loose, and when he got loose, he had to turn to the car to the right to keep from spinning out. That's where the contact came, right along with the 20 of Bell. Oh.
Bell got into the back of the 22.
That's how quick it happens. Bell couldn't even see the incident.
All right, Kim.
Well, before the incident, Kyle did say the car was trending
really well, and I think that's so important when a team is struggling. 17 in the wall. Caution.
Caution comes out. Chris Buescher into the wall. He was running 5th.
Wow. That was
so
only a right front. It just won't turn. That one, you saw it get loose.
I'm with you. It didn't look like the rest. It just went straight.
Marty?
Rick, this was important. A driver near the cut.
Oh, presented by Credit One Bank. The 30-year-old from High Point, North Carolina, has been winless in 2024. He's shown speed. He's shown dominance at other racetracks. And now he's showing that he can get to victory lane at Iowa Speedway. He's the first Cup winner. Ryan Blaney wins in Iowa.
Awesome, man. Awesome job, guys. Way to stick with it all night, man. Great bounce back from